Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the WardiTV Monday. The WardiTV Monday here, your weekly dose of all things Wardy StarCraft. Let's go. Number 73. This is, of course, one of our many replay casts, catch-up casts here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're almost done. We're almost caught up with everything, baby. Yeah. By the end of the week, we should be caught up with Little League Cup and likewise WardiTV Monday as well. For those that are curious, this event did take place a couple of weeks ago, and we're here to catch up on the events of the WardiTV Monday number 73. Let's go. We are here. We are back, and we are jumping into our initial series, into our best of three. Now, coming to this event, we're going to be jumping into initially the quarterfinals, followed by the semis, followed by the grand finals thereafter. We have our series, we have our best of, and up first, we have a PvP between MaxPax and Showtime. Let's go. Let us go. So yeah, jumping into our PvP. Oh. By the first match was MaxPax versus Showtime. Yeah, it is. Quarterfinals, happy quarterfinals. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the German Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is a Showtime. Here we go. We are jumping on into our first series of the broadcast, and I'm curious to see how MaxPax has been adjusting. PvP has been very in flux for MaxPax. I would say for the majority of post-COVID, so like 2022, 3, 4, MaxPax had the best PvP in the world. That did change though. That did change coming into this year, coming into 2026. MaxPax, and even 2025 actually last year. I should emphasize that as well. MaxPax's PvP win rate did drop quite heavily, and he did struggle that much more against players like Classic, against players like herO, against players like Showtime, and MaxPax has been reinventing himself in PvP. The reasoning for this is because of the change to the shield battery and the energy overcharge. If you recall, back in the day, MaxPax was known for Gate expand into Cybercore or Gate Cyber expand into a fast Stargate. But a change was made. The shield battery was adjusted, and if you recall, we did actually introduce the energy overcharge instead, or I should say the energy overcharge was nerfed, was changed, was adjusted, and as a result, without the shield battery overcharge, going for that kind of void ray defense became that much more difficult. It became much more difficult just because you had to commit and invest into more shield batteries, into more so than usual, into more shield batteries, and then you can be faked out and it can be a much more difficult defense. What I mean by that is what you could achieve previously with like 2 shield batteries, you had to commit to into like 4 shield batteries instead without the shield battery overcharge. The other downside, of course, is that depending on the all-in, they can actually bypass the natural, commit into the main base, and then suddenly the big commitment of shield batteries that you had isn't as effective anymore. So we had MaxPax try to commit to his standard opener, struggle, and then try to reinvent himself since then. Once again, it's going to be a Stargate before Nexus here for MaxPax, as he is pylon blocked. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Showtime going for a Gate, Cyber also into Stargate. We're entering Phoenix Wars. Let's go! MaxPax, his Stargate has been scouted. MaxPax, he himself did scout the Stargate as well. So MaxPax is where the Stargate, Showtime is also where the Stargate. As a result, we should be making Phoenixes, and we should not stop making Phoenixes. Also, share my papi, share my. Let's go. Jam. Because that can happen early on. Yes, for those that are curious, Wardy doesn't do seeding, or I should say, Wardy, he only sees the top performing players from the previous week. So if someone, for example, if MaxPax, if he missed a week, which does happen, if he missed a week, then the next week that he plays, he won't be seeded. So he'll just have random seeding instead. So that is something unique that Wardy does for his events, is custom seeding only based on the previous week's performances. So that is why it is quite often and quite common in Wardy's tournaments that big players face off in like the round of 32 or the round of 16 due to like RNG. It happens, it happens. Meanwhile, we do have our Phoenixes. Phoenix production has begun for both players, and once you start, you do not stop. You do not stop, you cannot stop. Ooh, as MaxPax does take down the initial unit, does take down the initial adept, takes control of the natural, and will force some more inefficiencies here out of Showtime, as Showtime has to deal with these initial units. Yeah, there's left on the Zealot. Zealot is lifted, the Phoenixes are amassing. And we do see Showtime getting lured out. Oh no! He has to be careful. He has to be so careful here, as MaxPax does have the Phoenix lead. Showtime shoots first. Yeah, Showtime barely does shoot first. Again, you have to be so careful. One extra volley can win you the game, straight up. As Phoenix Wars are very fragile, very delicate. As currently we have an even Phoenix count. It still comes down to stacking, still comes down to the first volley. At the same time, we have a second Stargate in the way, so MaxPax is going into a faster double Phoenix production. Meanwhile, Showtime is going for a second gateway. Ooh, the second gateway tells us that Showtime, he's going to try to switch out of Mass Phoenix. This is very difficult to achieve. Okay, so a couple different things here. Now, when it comes to Phoenixes right now, when it comes to Phoenix Wars, there is a reason to be a little bit more tentative with your army and be a little bit more careful with your army. Again, because your opponent has defender's advantage, technically, Showtime should be reinforcing faster when it comes to his Phoenix army, so MaxPax has to be careful. If MaxPax stays idle, though, and if MaxPax doesn't push in, then Showtime can get away with all these extra gateways and then switch into a ground army instead. So if MaxPax is too passive, then Showtime can get away with this. If MaxPax is active, then Showtime should be overwhelmed. And the problem here is we already have extra Phoenixes on the way. Of course, Showtime you can support with Guardian Shield. But MaxPax, he already has a Phoenix lead. And now he's going for the production. He sees. He just saw the gateway. He just saw the gateway. Big scout here from MaxPax. He knows batteries are on the way back at home. A cannon as well. Robo. And Showtime is being torn apart. Yeah, he's being torn apart here. Probe's going to be going down. Showtime, he cannot engage. He cannot engage the army. Showtime cannot fight this. He's going for the base trade. He's going for the base trade instead. And the Robo's not ready yet. This Robo is not ready yet. Showtime, he's all in. He's got the proxy gateway across the map. Showtime is completely all in. Meanwhile, the Phoenixes, they recall back home. How many Phoenixes do we have? 9. 9 Phoenixes. And the batteries are finishing. Showtime is taking too long. Oof. Losing 1 Phoenix already. MaxPax just has to take it slow. Just take it slow. Sniper Phoenix at a time. First battery is going to be focused down. Void Rays on the way. MaxPax making 2 Void Rays at a time. He's got his first. He's already got 1 Void Ray. Immortals on the way as well. And does have the first Stargate. Immortal production is underway. Again, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for MaxPax. It's just getting better and better for him. More cannons, more shield batteries, better economy. And soon to be the larger army as well. Comes the Immortal. There's a lift. Instantly gets denied. Yeah, boys are being pulled. And MaxPax collapsing on the Stalkers. We're down to how many? Down to 10 Stalkers. Let's get a gateway. I mean, the gateway doesn't really matter. We have a second Immortal on the way, a third Void Ray on the way as well. And Showtime, he starts pro production. This is late. Yeah, this is late. So Showtime, he now admits he cannot kill. He cannot kill his opponent. He cannot kill MaxPax. He starts pro production back at home. MaxPax already has a third on the way. No shot. I mean, if MaxPax was being contained, then maybe. Okay, does find it. Showtime does find the expansion. Luring the army out into the open. This time no batteries. No batteries to defend. And looks like Showtime will force a cancel. Okay. Does force a cancel. Fun fact, Showtime is still behind economically. Still not 2 base saturation. He's still under 2 base saturation. Showtime still needs more damage. Now going for a second Stargate, going back into Phoenix production. Okay, we got some twists and turns here. I like it. Basically, Showtime is switching out of a ground army and back into mass Phoenix. And the thing right now is that MaxPax isn't making Phoenixes, right? He has no reason to. Because he believes that there's a ground switch coming, he has to switch into full Immortal Void Ray. Meanwhile, Showtime is going back into air. So Showtime has, there's been a lot of mind games here so far this game. A lot of mind games, a lot of metagaming here out of Showtime. And this can work if given time. As Mass Phoenix is going to be superior. Meanwhile, Fleet Beacon's on the way for MaxPax. Oh, he can go into Anion Pulse Crystals. That'll be a big upgrade for MaxPax. Currently, Showtime does have the Phoenix lead. He's ahead in Phoenixes. Up to 12. Keeping it in. Void Rays is away. Yeah, massive prismatic alignment. Oof. Now, what I will say is that MaxPax did make a mistake here, and he did activate all the Void Rays at once. He didn't stagger them. Showtime has to wait it out. Oh, it's too soon. Yeah, it does move it a little bit too soon. Takes a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Stalkers, they start to step in. They focus on the Immortals. Okay, the Immortals are going down. The Void Rays there after as well. And Showtime, does he have enough? Oh, no, there's still 3 Immortals left. There are still so many Immortals. Yeah, the Immortals, they land, they kill all the Stalkers, and MaxPax holds. MaxPax, he does hold on. Again, Showtime, he barely did not have enough. With that, MaxPax is working towards Void Ray speed. Now switching into Phoenixes. GG gets called, the all-in fails, and MaxPax, he will claim game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very cheeky build here by Showtime. Very cheeky, very tricky here, and it had a lot of potential, but again, it was just on a knife's edge, and we saw that it just took too long. It took too long to get across the map. It took too long to push into the natural. Unfortunately for Showtime, MaxPax, he did scout ahead of time. What did he scout? He saw a gateway. If you remember, he saw the gateway in the main base. There should never be a second gateway in this stage of PvP. So seeing the second gateway confirmed and told him to get a robo, start Voider production, get shield batteries, get a forge, get cannons as well. Really strong reaction there from MaxPax as soon as he saw that gateway, and then he was ready. He was ready just in time. GG. GG, well played. Again, Showtime, we tried to transition out of that into macroing and probing, but he was just so far behind in the economy. He had delayed production so much there when it came to his probes. And with that, we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner here of White Rabbits. We have the Danish Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Protoss player, we have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is Showtime. Let's go. Here we go. So now we're going to be opening up once again. MaxPax setting up on the low ground, going for a gate, cyber expand into Stargate if need be. I'm gonna say if need be. It should be Stargate before or after the Nexus. And once again, it's on Showtime to try to react to this. We could once again see Phoenix Wars. We could see Showtime go for a one base all in and go for a proxy. Showtime does have options. Here we go. As it is going to be a double gate opener out of Showtime. Does open double gate. You know what, it's going to be a very fast Nexus. Okay, MaxPax is cutting corners, going for the Nexus before Cybercore, so hyper greed out of MaxPax, and Showtime has to respond to this. He has to respond. How does he respond? One base all in. So he's going for the proxy robo, one base all in out of Showtime. Again, it's all or nothing. Either he kills MaxPax or he dies trying. When it comes to MaxPax's defense, if he can recognize what's going on in time and identify, then he can respond with a wall of shield batteries, and he can still muster up a defense here. We'll see. For now, MaxPax, he's aware that a pylon is missing. He knows something is wrong. Showtime, he's getting ready. The Cybercore is complete, and we're waiting for that tech structure, either a gateway or the robo. So chronoing out the Stalkers. We are chronoing out. Oh, Max, I mean, a good call out of MaxPax. So he scouts, he doesn't know whether this is an all-in. There could be like a proxy Stargate, or there could be a robo, there could be a fake proxy pylon. MaxPax, he reacts not with a Stargate, but with a robo. Very strong defense here from MaxPax. This does allow for immortal production, and this does put Showtime on a timer. Showtime gets scouted. Yeah, he gets scouted, the third gateway has been seen. And it's going to be a difficult all-in to achieve here for Showtime. He's going for it. First battery is done. If MaxPax had gone for a Stargate, then there would have been a better chance, but going for the robo here is meant to hard counter, right? It's meant to hard counter this kind of style. There's that second battery. Immortal's on the way. As the Immortal count gets higher and higher, it becomes more difficult for Showtime to make this work. Does drain all the shields. There's the energy overcharge. There's the overcharge. So far, so good. MaxPax is holding. As the Immortal pops out. So far, fully walling up. Now building up to 2 Immortals once again, walling off against the Adepts. Do you have a Stargate behind this? I believe this should be for Phoenixes. Phoenixes, they can CC and they can lift the Immortal. But Showtime is now going for a very late expansion. Oof. So Showtime is telling us that he can't kill his opponent. That the all-in has failed. He cannot kill MaxPax. As I mentioned, if MaxPax hadn't gone for the Robo, then this could have worked. The Gamba was real, Pac. The Gamba was real. There's that Phoenix. Hallucination confirms the Stargate, confirms the Phoenix production. Showtime gets supply blocked. Oof. Yeah, brutal supply block. Now, Showtime has potential to get some damage done. He's got the Oracle flying towards the natural. We have a full wall here, by the way, so Stalkers, they cannot actually... Oh, they can juggle over, but they're going to be delayed. It's a lot of batteries. Oracle dips in. Gets 1, 2. Not bad. 3. Can we get up to 5? So 3, 4, 5 pro kills. Very nice damage. Getting up to 6. Almost 7. So this does make up for the earlier losses here for Showtime. Showtime is making up for his worker count. Bearing in mind that, yes, currently Showtime has evened up the pro count, but MaxPax has been mining more for longer. That has resulted into this army. Showtime a little supplier here in the army instead. And as the Phoenix count has gone a little bit higher here, MaxPax may just have to turtle up. We'll see. But the Oracle was a good start. It's a good start. From here, Showtime can even take a faster third base and try to get further ahead. He has the opportunity. Dips in, saves the Oracle. Okay. Cheeky moves out of Showtime. Does save the Oracle, will lose the Phoenix in the process. Oof. The Oracle does get out. Gets 3 more probe kills. Showtime now takes a worker lead. And how many gateways is MaxPax on? 3. So he's on a 3-gate setup. He's moving out across the map. Blink is almost done. He's got his Prism. He's all in. So 2 base all in out of MaxPax. Showtime back at home. What do we have to work with here? So Showtime, he's down in Stalkers. He has Adepts. They can really only buffer. He has no core units, though. He has no Immortals themselves. The first Immortals on the way. It's going to be a tough defense here for Showtime. It is going to be difficult. Oh. Showtime doesn't have Blink. Stays trap. Oh, he blinks in. Does get caught out. Nice catch here from Showtime. MaxPax, he had detection, but he was just too trigger happy. And Showtime can win this fight. He commits. Yeah, does try to commit in. The Immortal does get focused out as well. Nice pickup. Yeah, down goes the Immortal. Down goes the Prism as well. Prism does kite back. And Showtime, sorry, MaxPax is being shut down. He's being shut down. We do force a recall. Showtime ensuring he doesn't get surrounded. I think again, that Stasis Trap may have just won Showtime this game. He's bought so much more time. The Stasis pack. MaxPax taking a third. He's going to settle for containing. Diving into the main, force field in the ramp. Oh, recall just used. No shot. The recall's on cooldown. He cannot get in. He cannot get into his own main. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, a really smart move here from MaxPax, recognizing the recall was just used. Oh, God. Yeah, dives on the army, gets 1, gets both Immortals, and there's nothing left. There's nothing here. Showtime is just overwhelmed. And again, punished for that recall. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he will take the series 2-0. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Congratulations, MaxPax. You will claim the series. Again, a very intense game number 2 here. Winding it back, MaxPax, he went for a gate expand. He went for the greediest build you can go for, so he kind of baited Showtime into a 1-base all-in. The problem was that MaxPax's follow-up was not Stargate, it was Robo. So MaxPax, he was expecting a 1-base all-in. Even without scouting, he was blindly preparing for it. Then he was able to confirm, of course. And as a result, Showtime, his initial 1-base all-in, did fall on its face. Couldn't really break the natural. He did fall behind. Going for the Stargate, his Oracle was nice, and Showtime did recover economically eventually. He got a lot of economic damage done with that Oracle. It was very impressive. He got, I want to say, 10 probe kills in total. He killed 6 and then 4 thereafter, so it was really, really nice damage with the Oracle. But the problem was that because of the earlier losses and because of the Stargate as well, everything else was delayed. There was no Blink, for example. There was delayed Immortal production because of the Stargate, because of the Phoenixes. Everything else was slowed down, and it meant that the 2-base all-in from MaxPax hit that much harder. Showtime, he almost defended though. Like, he had a really nice stasis trap that bought a lot of time. He was able to save his army, pick off the Immortals, but because he recalled, that means he could not recall into the main base to deal with the army outmaneuvering and force fielding the ramp. GG. GG, well played. And with that, MaxPax does claim the series. They'll take the 2-0 and will advance on into the next round, where he has his next opponent ready and waiting. It's going to be a PvT between MaxPax and Cure. Un momento. Just need a moment. But MaxPax is going to be facing off against Cure in the semifinals. Meanwhile, for the other semis, it is going to be herO versus SHIN, and we'll be covering both. We'll be covering both. Now, though, game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. So just setting up. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss. Representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran player himself. The South Korean Terran, it is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be settling in. We do have our TVP coming into this. MaxPax, is this still his strongest matchup? I think I would say that. I think I would say that MaxPax's strongest matchup is Protoss versus Terran. Likewise, Cure has some of the best TVP in the world, and he moves out across the map already. The goal here is to avoid the probe scout and to come in for the eBay block. So Chi moves out of Cure, does bypass the scouts, comes in from behind, and from here he can sneak in. He can sneak on in, going for the block. Now, it is very common to eBay block here on Winter Madness. It is very similar on Old Republic as well. Now, what do these two maps have in common? Only one third base option. And oh, this is a rough start for MaxPax. So basically, this eBay is going to go get up and running uncontested. The SCV can then head over towards the triangular third base, block the expansion, and then there's only one option. There's only one option for MaxPax, and that is the low ground base. It's just like on the Old Republic. It's a very, very, very difficult base to expand to. It's a very awkward start, and MaxPax, yep, he sees the eBay, he goes immediately for that low ground location. He cannot expand at the triangular third. So a nice start for Cure. He does force an uncomfortable early game here for MaxPax. Behind this, Cure can go for the CC on the high ground or the factory. The answer is CC. Okay, so Cure is going for a standard economic follow-up. He will not capitalize on this. He is not going to be hyper aggressive, but he is still making MaxPax very uncomfortable in the early game. It also means that, I mean, now his quote-unquote third base is also exposed as well, so any kind of two-base all-in will hit even harder. So just aggression from Cure is going to be more favored. Again, on other maps, the other third base is a little bit more secure. Whether it's a triangular third or linear third, you have options. But here on Winter Madness and on the Old Republic, you don't really have those options. Like, one is strictly worse than the other. As Reaper does back in, MaxPax behind this going for his own Twilight Council. This should be a Blink-based follow-up. There are some builds where you can go early charge, for sure, especially if you believe your opponent's going to be aggressive, but I don't really know that MaxPax is really that kind of player to go into early charge. He's a little bit more kind of standard in his kind of builds of choice. Like, we expect aggression on 3 or 4 gateways, true, with Blink. But he's not one to, like, mix in, I don't know, say, like, Stargate open into Mass Oracle into a second Stargate, or, like, a rush into, like, carriers or anything like that. MaxPax isn't as chaotic or as diverse as like Classic and herO, but MaxPax still has some of the best, just like Blink Control and like 4-gate Blink aggression, 4-gate Blink aggression, 3-gate Blink aggression. That is where MaxPax thrives. As we have our Robo on 2 bases. Stalkers a rally across the map. MaxPax, there is no safety bunker, true. So Cure is a little bit more exposed. And we'll see what MaxPax can get done. Tries to come in for a flank. Picks up the Reaper, gets a Marine. Nice little pickoffs. Nice little pickoffs here out of MaxPax. Cure moving out. Does open with a singular Widow Mine drop. MaxPax is in position. Oh. He's in position, does zone away. Curie behind this, going into a 1-1-1 tank and Viking follow-up. He's all in. Curie is going for an all-in. He's going for a massive push. As I mentioned before, this base location is very exposed, and the win condition for Cure, get within range of the rover. If he can siege up his tank within range of the rover, he can just break that position. Oh my god! And looks to end the game. Tank volley goes off. Nice start here for Cure. And MaxPax now he knows. Now he knows that immortal production has begun. As you mentioned, this robo is crucial here in the defense. He needs that first immortal. Meanwhile, Curie's landing his Vikings. We can see MaxPax coming in from behind, catching out a Marine. An SCV as well. Observer got caught. Tank does siege, and do we get a Stalker? Oh, gets one! Yeah, late blink. Late control there from MaxPax. Yeah, does slip up, does lose one Stalker. Every Stalker counts. Coming in with this round. He does come in. Takes down the first tank. A nice snipe. He gets one, he gets 2. Yeah, both tanks go down. The Marines, they do punish the Stalkers, but the Immortal survives. The Immortal does survive, and we have a second Immortal on the way. And with that, MaxPax is holding. He's holding, he's defending. This push has failed. Remember, when it comes to these move-outs, the tanks are the backbone of the army. Without the tanks, there's nothing. Oh, the Prism. Oh my god, one more shot. Gets the War Prism, okay. Prism goes down. That means the MaxPax, he cannot threaten the bases. We have a bit of a back and forth here. MaxPax saves the expansion, and Cure, he's transitioning. He's transitioning out of this. We have E-Base on the way. We have Stim now starting up. But he's still pushing. Cure does not want to back off. MaxPax is going to be checking for a 3rd CC. There's no 3rd base yet. Shields are triggered on one of the Immortals. Tanks are sieging up. Oh. No major connections. And again, MaxPax doing everything he can to just force these early sieges. Comes in from behind. Does not get on top of the tank though. And Cure, he's barely out of range of the Robo. Yeah, just barely not quite there. That means the 3rd Immortal has arrived. With 3 Immortals, I don't see Cure breaking this, I'll be honest. He's going for it though. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. There's 1 tank left. Nice tank shots with the Immortals. They barely get out of there. We have more reinforcements rallying across the map. There's a Colossus on the way. Jesus. And Cure backs off. And Cure pulls away. He backs off. Again, the aggression, it was okay, but it's not really achieving what Cure needed. He's forced to retreat. Does catch the Observer. 3rd CC is on the way, and now we're getting into the mid game. We're backing off. We're getting to the mid game. We're getting a very clutch defense here from MaxPax. He was able to hold. He was able to defend. Getting his own third base up and running. Now we have a bit of a back and forth. What is scary here is that some Vikings did survive and they can still be quite useful against a Colossus. True. Cure, he's still pushing. He just backs up, reinforces. Ooh, Colossus is spotted. He does got the Colossus. He has to commit. Decent spread, but one tank goes down. There's one tank left. Can he get on top of the Colossus though? MaxPax overextends. Yeah, big overextension. Colossus goes down. Massive pickoff. And MaxPax, he just was a little bit too cavalier. GG gets called and Cure overwhelms. Cure takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MaxPax, he was defending well. I was very impressed by his defense to hold on to that low ground, to get his immortal count up and running, to engage and surround the army, force these early sieges. He was doing well for himself, but he did overextend. There was no need to be out there in the open against that reinforced army. He had 3 immortals, he had the Colossus, he had batteries back at the third base, but he did decide to move out. He committed to the fight, and he misjudged. MaxPax, he misjudged the strength of his army. He misjudged the concave of Cure. I wasn't too sure myself. I was like, yo, with these landed Vikings, like, is that going to be enough to break through the Colossus? The thing is, there wasn't much support for the Colossus and Immortals. There weren't many Stalkers left. A lot had gone down throughout the course of the game, and GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Cure does take a lead in the series, and he is 1 game away from claiming the series. We'll see if MaxPax can bounce back. See if he can bounce back as we are loading into game number 2. But again, just a hyper aggressive build here from Cure, as even when he was being deflected, he would only be deflected for a couple of seconds before pushing out once again. Like, he had no chill. No chill, papi, no chill. Oh. And no chill was spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. As welcome, one and all, to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the more smaller maps in the map pool. Smaller map does favor aggression, short rush distance by ground, very open natural, very open third base, very open area in between the bases. It's just a very small, very aggressive map here, and we do often see a lot of 2-base all-ins. 2-base all-ins are quite commonplace. Double gas opener already here by Cure, opening up more tech heavy. Okay, so more of a tech heavy start. I wouldn't be opposed to MaxPax opening up charge here to kind of blindly counter 2-base play, especially after game 1, but we'll see. We'll see how he does open up. As MaxPax, he does back in. I believe he does confirm the gases. Yep, he's fully aware. So he knows that it's going to be a delayed expansion. And he should prepare accordingly. This is where ideally you want to be setting up your SimCity, walling up your natural, building up your stalkers. Technically this can lead into like to proxy starports, you know, Hellion drop into the bases or something along those lines. Or committed Reaper Hellion, true. Speaking of, do you have an extra pair of Reapers on the way? And so again, Curious poking in. Does poke in, does pull away. Behind this is that Twilight Council open out of MaxPax. Again, I'm curious to see if MaxPax opens up charge or even opens up with an extra gateway and goes into blink with, say, 4 gate blink, for example. We'll see. I'd be shocked to see if MaxPax goes like 2 gate blink into a 3rd. Like, no shot. Not on Tourmaline. Adept gets across the map, delays the CC, not bad. As the Adept is revealed, we have 2 Reapers diving into the main, but again, another Adept here on the high ground. Ooh, CranKy is denied. And so far, CranKy, he's having a rocky start. Yeah, shaky start here. Does go Cyclone into add-on swap. Okay, from here we can go into Raven or even early Banshee. Adept goes down. And it is going to be Banshees. So now we see kind of the double gas opener come to fruition, right? It was double gas, faster factory, led into a faster starport, led into fast cloak Banshees. There's a lot of potential for damage here if it goes unscattered. It's a big if. Reapers dip into the main. Blink is on the way. There's 1 gateway in the main base as well. So far getting 1 probe. Gets 1, should not get 2. Oh, never mind. Cyclone hits a natural, okay. Disrupting some of the mining. Reaper gets away somehow, some way. Robo's on 2 bases as well, so 2 gate opener of Robo. 3rd gateway gets thrown down, so we have 3 gate blink. This is considered to be very safe. But I believe there was no sentry. Yeah, no sentry, which means no hallucination scouts. Which means MaxPax hasn't seen what's going on. Checking his vision, he didn't see much here. Again, there's no confirmation that it would be Banshees. It could just be a Raven follow-up here into, say, additional Cyclones or earlier tank production. Ooh, an extra gateway gets thrown down the main. Let's go. we spoke about this at the start of the game. If you recall, I was curious about 2 things. Whether we were going to open up early charge or 4 gate blink Stalker. We have the answer, 4 gate blink. So 4 gate blink, hyper aggression out of MaxPax. Throws down his 3rd base, but he's moving out with his prism. He's going to have extra warpins, extra stalkers. He has a lot more to work with. 3rd base gets spotted. CranKy has his 2 Banshees. Cloak is done. Is there any detection? There's 1 observer back at home. MaxPax, he hasn't seen anything yet. Okay, 4 stalkers, they one-shot SCVs. He gets 1. 1, getting 2. Just the 1. MaxPax is going to be zoned away. Thankfully, does not lose a stalker. But he should be parking his observer back at home. Oh, he's moving out with it. Okay, he's moving out with the observer. He could always recall. He can recall the observer back home. There is energy for recall in the main. Stalker is almost getting called out. They're very low on HP. And 2 Banshees, they one-shot. Yeah, they one-shot probes. 1, 2, 3, 4 probes going down. There's the recall on the observer. Getting it to 7 probe kills. Oh, do we get a Banshee? Do we get a Banshee? Gets 1. Yeah, 1 Banshee goes down the main army, out of position, not quite able to hit the 3rd base. I'm sure that CranKy wanted to try to hit both at once. And MaxPax holds. Does lose 8 probes, and that is worth of a cure. Cure to kill 8 workers, and for 1 Banshee to still be alive, it's well worth it. Even now, CranKy, because the Banshee's still alive, can just keep some of the army busy back at home. Dips into the main base. And ties up the supply. At the same time, MaxPax going for his own counterattack. He does have the Immortal with the army as well. Oh, okay. Does have the Immortal. He can go for the add-ons. Add-ons are exposed. Everyone, yep, Typhon can cut the streak. Combat Shields. Combat Shields is denied. Does not get Sim though. Yeah, barely not. Massive tank shots going up. Oof. Yeah, tank volleys on the Stalkers. Very fortunate there for CranKy that the exposed add-on had Combat Shields, not Stim. So Stim will finish, the more important upgrade. MaxPax is rotating behind this, working towards Colossus, not Storm. Now setting up. He does break out. Here's running back the army. At the same time, here comes a backstab. Yeah, Max sections the mineral line. Cure is in position. Yeah, for the most part, he should minimize losses. Prism goes further in, but shouldn't go for the warp in. Yeah, hides behind the main. Does hide behind the main base. Both players are expanding. Third base on the way now for Cure. Meanwhile, fourth base for MaxPax. After a very intense early game here, both players are calming down. We're calming down. We're building up. We're building up into said mid game. Now, as we get into the mid game, we should be seeing Cure turtle from here. I would say that he's kind of missed any kind of opening to move out across the map, so we should be seeing him just throw down turrets, sensor towers, and take a more defensive stance here on 3 bases. In my mind, we should be seeing that, but we'll see. MaxPax starts back in. Ooh, gets caught out though. Losing 3? 3 stalkers. Ay. Nice catch out of Cure. Prism gets hunted down by the Vikings. The Prism did not get away. So nice clean up there out of Cure. Shuts down the War Prism. There's no potential for a backstab. Observer does follow the army. Cure, does he notice? Oh, he does. Yeah, it does take notice. Sees the other as well. Yeah, both observers going down, and nice pickoffs. MaxPax playing blind, setting up for a run-by. Setting up for a counterattack. Cure turns around. MaxPax doesn't know. He gets caught. Yeah, the power of the lack of observer. I mean, if the observer was still alive following, then he would know not to move in. More results on left-hand side. Cure does leave an army in position. Cure's ready. Cure's ready. We have a 4th CC on the way. Extra gases. And more results getting caught out. I believe there was a mine shot going off on a stalker. Speaking of. Oh! Jesus. It blinks into the mine! Shot does not go off there. Whew, okay. Shot doesn't go off. Cuidado, papi, cuidado. Este MaxPax. Yeah, he face checks, bleeds out another stalker. Again, unfortunately, MaxPax still has no replacement observer. He actually didn't make any additional observers. He did focus on Colossus production. I mean, that's the other downside here, of course, of losing observers is your rover production. So up to 4 Colossus. Placing that War Prism. Meanwhile, Cure is taking up as second Stargate or Starport is finishing up. Academy's on the way as well, building up into Ghosts, Vikings, Liberators. As I mentioned before, no surprises here. We have turrets, sensor towers. I don't see Cure pushing anytime soon. He is maxing out, but he does not have the perfect army. Like Cure, he's still not quite there yet. Likewise, MaxPax, he needs to expand. He's now getting his 5th expansion. 5th base on the way. We should soon be seeing like a 6th expansion, more tech as well, 2nd robo. Currently, there's only one bad fight, and MaxPax cannot replace this army. He has to be careful. Does have to be careful here. Now, as Cure expands and gets his 4th base, he does expose himself. Like, this position here is much more open. He's exposed. MaxPax, he wants to go for it. He wants to go in. He's going for it. He does go for the dive. 4 Colossus, wasting some shots though. Yeah, they're trying to move in. 1, 2 Colossus go down. There's 2 Colossus left, and MaxPax, he will lose everything. All the Colossus will fall. Ay. Yeah, massive tank shots going off. Only Stalkers left. And Cure holds. Cure, he holds. And honestly, I feel like he could have chased. I feel like we could have chased there, but for now he's playing it safe. Getting his planetary up and running. Securing his economy. MaxPax is hurting. Oh. Doesn't find a way in. Doesn't find a way into natural. Another Zealot Ramp is being set up. And Cure now he has to turtle up until he maxes out again. Again, though, I do feel like there was a window of opportunity for him to counterattack, but I'm just now realizing that I don't think he had a ghost with the army. Yeah, no ghosts. It was just Marine Marauder. So Zealot weapons would be able to defend. Ghost production just now getting underway. So Cure, he actually didn't have the ideal army to counterattack. So he's stuck at home, but this time he's refining his composition, now with more Vikings, now with more Ghosts, and now with, eventually, Liberators. Meanwhile, MaxPax, it's a ways to go here. The soup is lying to you, by the way. The soup does often lie. The supplies are max, but MaxPax earlier, remember, he had 4 Colossus, now he has 1. He has 1 Colossus. It's mainly a Zealot composition. Don't let the soup lie to you, Pat. At the same time, going for the Prism. Prism into the main. Colossus getting called out. And that's going to be the death of another Colossus. Oof. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Zealot's trying to catch out the Ghost. Plenty of reinforcements. Zealot said they just cleaned up. They shut down. Kira's pushing. He is committing in. He should knock down the expansion. Nice EMP. We got 1 Colossus left with the main army. Just the one. Yo, what's going on with the Land of Vikings? There we go. Now, there are 2 Colossus being made at a time, so Kira has to be careful. The Colossus kind of getting up there, but how many Vikings are there now? 11. Jesus. 11 Vikings. Storm is almost done. Another Colossus getting called out. They're losing 1 more. Zealot's coming in from behind though. Nice flank. Yeah, very nice flank, but the army does slip away. Yeah, barely pulls out, barely pulls back. Takes down all 3 Colossi. No splash damage. Yeah, no splash damage yet left. Yeah, Zealots are being cleaned up. Stalkers have to get the hell out of here. They cannot fight, not head on. They need those Zealots. They need that buffer. Here go the storms. Decent storm. Yeah, decent storm in the main army, but Kira, he's rallying at this point. He's rallying across the map. He breaks through the probes. He breaks into the third base as well. And again, MaxPax, he has no standing army. He's down to just Zealots and Stalkers. Does force Q to kite back. Okay, he's buying time. He's buying time for the Colossus. What's the Viking count looking like? Only 5. Okay, only 5 Vikings, but there's 4 more on the way. Getting up to 9. Building up to 9 Vikings. It does warp in 3-Eye Templar. Given time, we can have a couple of storms. But he needs time. But oh, the EMPs! Never mind. Crazy EMPs. They blanket everything. They cover the High Templar, the Archons as well. Crazy MPs, but we got 1 storm, the only storm. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Cure. He will claim the series. Again, a very aggressive, very intense Cure here, both in game 1 and game 2. Game 1, of course, Cure, he had the setup from the early game, forcing the unnatural natural, forcing the low-ground expansion, and eventually punishing that location. As I said though in game 1, MaxPax, he did an amazing job defending and holding, but he did overextend, right? He did overextend, he did push out into the open when he didn't need to. He got caught out in the open without his shield batteries, without his defender's advantage, and MaxPax did take a rough fight. Here in game 2, we saw that MaxPax, he had a choice to make. He was bleeding out his Prism, his Observers, he was bleeding out quite a bit in the lead up to the mid game, and we saw him make the decision to commit into a fight at the 4th location. As Cure was expanding, he was a little bit more exposed, and MaxPax did decide to commit in there, but alas, unfortunately, his Colossus were staggered. We had like 1, maybe 2 Colossus pushing in to actually fight the army, the other 2 were caught behind the army instead, so it was a very disjointed assault there from MaxPax, as we pointed out at the time, and as a result, he was kind of lacking that DPS output, lacking that army, and he just bled out Colossus after Colossus, one after the other, and he lost everything. And as we were in a way criticizing as we were bringing up at the time, MaxPax didn't have the economy or the production to sustain that kind of loss. He never built back up to 4 Colossus. Once he lost those 4, he was done. He could never really build back up to that point. GG. GG, well played. Whew. As Cure does claim the series, does advance on into the grand finals. Let's go. Let us go. I have a question. Why didn't the Immortal didn't blast the tank? MJG, watch yourself, baby. Watch yourself. The clouding in the chats. What else is lasers for? Not blowing up buildings. True, true. Not wrong, Pappy, not wrong. But that leads us into our next semis. We're going to be going to a short break. We're going to be going to a short break here. When we come back, we'll have our next semis. We'll have our next series. It is going to be a best of 3 between herO and SHIN to find out who faces off against Cure in the finals. Let's go. Let us go. Up next is going to be a PvZ. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the WardiTV Monday number 73. We just wrapped up with our initial two series with our first quarterfinals match and our semifinals, and getting through those matches. Cure. I almost said Clem. Cure, he's made his way through into the grand finals, and he's waiting for the winner of this series of herO versus SHIN. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Este Bramo in the chat. Ay. Due to new job, I finally get to see Lights Cast live. I needed this. Let's go. Happy to hear. Happy to hear that you have a new job. Happy to hear, Pappy. Hope all is going well, and we're here for some more StarCraft. Let's go, Pappy. Let's go. So we're jumping into our first series, into our PvZ, SHIN versus herO. Let's go. Vamonos, Pappy. Vamonos. Coming into this, I still have a really hard time placing SHIN. Like, SHIN, he's a very irregular in these open cups. Like, he plays every now and then, and he can pop off. He's actually very similar to herO, actually, where SHIN, he has some really high highs and some lower lows. He can be a very spiky player and can be very crazy in his own rights. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing himself, currently teamless. It is SHIN. Going for what? Going for the hatch block. Let's go. Drone is being sent across the map. SHIN, he's very fond of this build. He does it very often in ZVP. He does go hatch first, into a second hatchery across the map, into a gas pool. It's a very greedy build, and ideally SHIN wants to force an overreaction. He wants to force the boys to be pulled. He wants herO to overreact to this expansion, to the hatchery. So SHIN, he's just waiting for his resources, mining more minerals before moving in. And there it is, 200 minerals. Now we can commit. Heads for the base location and blocks the expansion. Bam! There we go. Does block the Nexus. And remember, it was hatch first. Hatch, then into hatchery, then into gas pool. Boys are being pulled. Already a good reaction here for SHIN. This is what he wanted. He wants the boys to be pulled. He wants a herO to lose mining time. And he wants an inefficient start and a shaky start for herO. The quote-unquote cleaner response to this is just go for a second gateway, pump out his zealots, and just focus this down. Making 2 zealots and then going for the adept follow-up. Here, damage is being done economically. And SHIN is satisfied. Does cancel. Does cancel in time. Again, that was what, 7 probes off the mineral line. And herO did not make a zealot. Ooh. Did not make a zealot here. What does that mean? That means there's no counterattack, right? There's no threat to counterattack. There's no second gateway either. There's not much for herO to really threaten. SHIN just expands. SHIN does go for his own third base back at home. And the pressure is now on herO. As the drone is still alive. Shouldn't get much done here. It's just on patrol, checking for tech. Ideally, the drone spots either the Twilight Council or the Stargate, whatever is the tech of choice. Speaking of, there it is, Stargate, and the drone does confirm. So SHIN, he's aware of the Stargate. He's aware of the Oracle. He's aware of the standard opener. Now, the opener may look standard here. I mean, obviously, it's a disrupted, inefficient opener, but we're getting there. Here, he's more than happy, more than willing to mix things up and go into, say, like second Stargate, Mass Oracle, Stargate, Void Ray, into Fleet Beacon, into Tempest Rush, into Carrier Rush. Like, herO can be a very chaotic player, especially when he knows that he's behind. herO does threaten the shade. 2 adepts taking 1-shot drones. herO does threaten a dive. Oh. Clicks in, gets 1, gets 2 lings. Not bad. Doesn't lose any adept. Oracles are on the way. herO does wall up. And from here, we are waiting to see the timing of the Twilight Council. Does he get it early? Does he get it late? Does he get it on time? As we have a second Oracle on the way, no Void Rays. herO is more concerned with getting damage done. Threatening another shade. Yes, here it does rotate. Does rotate. Behind this, we do have an early Eva chamber out of SHIN. SHIN going into early +1 melee. This is indicative here of Ling Hydra. This typically means that SHIN wants to skip roaches. He wants to skip roaches and skip banelings. It means that if herO had gone into Glaive Adepts, then damage could have been done here. But herO expands, claiming the forward third. This is a very unusual third location, by the way. It's often not taken, but okay. You have my attention. herO. No surprises here. There's that melee upgrade that we did mention. That's typically what +1 melee, +1, the early Eva chamber leads to is +1 melee. Oracles dip in, 3 drones go down. And there's no Twilight Council. Their base is done. We should have seen one by now. We see why. Extra depth warp ins. And that's a 4th Oracle. We're making 5. Jesus. Now we see where all the gas is being spent. I was confused. I was like, where's the Twilight Council? Where's the Forge? Where's the +1? Where are the upgrades? Where's the tech? Well, all that gas is being spent on extra Oracles. So herO is going mass Oracle. We did mention this is one of the possibilities that herO does like mixing in. Boys are being pulled. Adepts, they are somewhat trade here. 4, 5 drones going down. Oh my god. They shoot into the natural as well. More boys are being pulled. And we're getting up to 7, almost 8. 8 drone kills. Not bad out of herO. Yeah, not bad at all. Lings, they're forced to counterattack. Back at home, we got 5 Oracles. Soon to be 6. Oracles get spotted. We don't leave one at home to defend. Uh-oh. Yeah, the battery's trying to help out. The boys are being pulled. Messy defense here from herO, but he wants to get it across the map. He wants to kill that spore. He wants to kill the queens. Queen is targeted. Gets a queen. Gets a spore. We'll lose 1 Oracle in the process. It does lose 1. Goes to the economy. Jesus. Getting 12 drones. 12 drones go down, but the Lings. Oh, and this wasn't worth it. Yeah, this was not worth it for herO. Remember, herO, he chose not to leave 1 Oracle at home to defend. He could have. He chose not to leave it, and those Lings, they got 14 probe kills. Yes, herO got 12 drones, but that doesn't matter. Not anymore. Double Fleet Beacon? Oh no. Messy follow-up here, going into triple Stargates. herO, he's all over the place. He's losing more Oracles. Ay, ay, ay. Desperate for damage. He finds some, but oh god, he's still losing Oracles. It's gonna be 7 drones going down. SHIN is building up into Mass Hydra. Remember, Ling Hydra's on the way. And herO is rushing into Carrier. So Carrier rush here for herO. I mean, it can work. It can work if given time. The problem is that SHIN's not the kind of player to just stay idle. Like, I see SHIN pushing soon. He's joining up to 68. He's massing up Hydras as we speak. I'm not so certain that SHIN is going to back off and drone up to 80. But we'll see. That's what herO's hoping for. He wants SHIN to drone. He wants SHIN to just back off and drone up and saturate and take his time. SHIN, he has not made a drone in quite some time, by the way. 68 workers, that's all we have so far. You got 34 more Lings on the way, more Hydras. And SHIN, he should be able to push before Critical Mass Carrier. Should be able to. Bearing in mind that herO won't have any splash damage, right? No Colossus, no Disruptors, no Storm. It's purely vanilla Adept Carrier. Ice scouting. No shot. Oh, he gets revealed. Yeah, Carrier is revealed. SHIN. He's now aware. Oh, he's droning. Oh, God. I guess he missed his window. This would have been it, though. This would have been his timing to push now. But upon seeing the Stargate, upon seeing the Carrier, he drones and he gets a Spire. He's giving herO a way in. SHIN lacking confidence here. Again, there was only 2 carriers. I feel like Shin could have gone for the kill, but now it's too late. Now it's too late. Shin, he chose to drone. He chose to saturate. Shin, he's not going for a timing attack. And herO, he's building up into 5, soon to be 6 carriers. He's getting there. So herO, he's done it. He's gone away with his initial follow-up. Shin is still droning. As he postures, but it's too late. Like, at this point, it is too late. Now we see herO taking up. There's a Twilight Council for the first time at almost 10 minutes. This should lead into a Temple Archives and Storm. Splash damage is the big thing that herO is missing. And Shin might still pull this off, by the way. He is maxed. He's maxed out. He's collapsing in. Without storms, Mass Hydra can still do well. Banelings are waddling in. They're trying to. Hydras are being focused down. And it looks like there aren't enough Hydras. It's getting close, though. Interceptors, they focus on the Hydras one after the other. Hydras, they kite back. We're running out of Interceptors. We're running out. Lings, they flood in. Okay. Lings, they flood into the main. All these Hydras should fall. Yeah, again, there are not enough Hydras here. The Lings, they get 6 probe kills in the main base, but they won't get much else. And herO holds. Oh. herO, he does hold on. Yeah, cleans up all the Hydras. Again, if this had hit when herO only had 2 or 3 carriers, different story, but Shin did choose to join up. And this was an expensive trade. Looking at the trade here, Shin, he lost 24 Hydras. He bled out a lot of Lings, a lot of Banelings. He only killed 11 probes, didn't really deal much economic damage. Remember, herO has a 4th expansion up and running as well. And herO, he retained almost every carrier. I mean, I say that. He retained every carrier. Not a single carrier went down. Oh, Lings to do slip in again. Now, Shin is going to mass Corruptor. That is true. He's going to have 20, I want to say. Yeah, 20 Corruptors. It is a decent amount. Currently, where's the support for herO? herO, he never got the Temple Archives. A bit of a lapse in judgment here. So herO, he has a Twilight Council. He never got the Archives. He does not have Storm yet. He does not have Archons yet. There it is. He does now notice it is late. The reason why it's late is because of the Ling run by. Right? The Ling run by, the attack did distract herO. So big delay on the tech. And this means that there's a bigger window in time where Mass Corruptor can actually excel. Before there are Archons, before there's Storm, Corruptors can overwhelm the carrier. I mean, ideally Corruptor Viper would be ideal. Banelings are rolling in. Ooh, connecting with the side defense. Carriers do react. So 1 carrier gets picked up. Gets 1. Gets 2. Not bad. Picks off 2 carriers. Lings, they come in once again. They slip in from behind. Going for more economic damage. There's still no side defense here, and there's still no wall. The wall is open, Pappy. herO. And this is getting damage. It's getting damage here. 6, 7 probes falling. Corruptors are hunting for another carrier. He does spot the Oracle. He wants something more. The army is clumped. And Shin, he won't find a carrier. Oh, does get the Oracle though. Oracle goes down. Lings pull away. Massive Void Rays is building up here for herO. And he finally has Storm. So Storm is done. He has a High Templar. He has no Archons yet, so this army is still lacking for herO, but he's slowly perfecting his army with Void Rays, with High Templar, and eventually with Archons as well. Yeah, well, that's 35 Corruptors. Oh my god. He commits. Yeah, he commits in. He 2-shots the Mothership. Mothership goes down. He 2-shots carriers as well. Down to 26, 25. Oh, the Void Rays punished. Oh my god, the Void Rays, they just go to town. Jesus. Void Rays, they traded well, but what's important though is the economy. Another 15 probe kills. And even though herO survives, he did bleed out a lot of carriers to the mothership and Void Rays as well. Did bleed out some units. And SHIN still has an economy. He's somewhat remaxing. He doesn't have the best economy. He only has 75 workers. Like, his droning is a little bit lackluster. His economy isn't quite there. But he is remaxing though. Back up to 26 Corruptors, soon to be 31. Zalts are surrounded. Corruptors looking for the dive. They get the Tempest. Tempest goes down, Void Ray as well. Yeah, and here is just being picked apart. He's being picked apart at this point. Ooh, losing another Void Ray. Losing far too much. Ling's muted once again. And it's just been the harassing, the non-stop Ling run-bys, Ling counterattacks, Hydras, Corruptors. The non-stop counterattacks have been too much. The fleet beacon goes down, and hero's all in. Here he's completely all in. He knows he can no longer defend. He's going for one last-ditch effort, one last-ditch push. This is all he has left. He's got 5 carriers, 3 Void Rays. It's barely an army. Got out. Corruptors, they turn back around. Nice storm. Yeah, nice storms. Corruptors, they commit in. They break through the Void Rays. GG gets called, and SHIN takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. SHIN, he does take a lead in the series. And again, herO, he just had a very rocky start here, winding up back. If you remember, herO, where did this all begin? This all began with the 5, I think up to 6 oracles. 6 oracles. They committed across the map, and he chose not to defend at home. He chose not to leave 1 oracle defensively, so even though, if you remember, herO, he killed, was it 12 to 14 drones, he lost up to 12 to 14 probes back at home. So despite getting economic damage, he sustained a lot of damage back at home as well, and he lost the oracles. He lost his tech units, everything that he had built up towards, and also the economy at home. So from that moment, herO fell behind. If you remember, there was a window in time where SHIN could have gone for an earlier push. When herO only had 2 carriers, SHIN could have committed. Once SHIN realized what was happening, he chose not to commit. He chose to drone up instead and throw it in the Spire, and went into a longer and later game, which was risky. I will say that was risky. That did give herO the opportunity to recover and to build up an army. But it was, again, the run-bys, the counterattacks. herO, he had a very hard time walling off his natural, and there was just so much harassment there, so much counterattacks from SHIN, pulling herO apart, crippling the economy and the army. GG. GG, well played. Aye. GG, well played here, as SHIN does take a lead in the series, and now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Let's go. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. Representing T1, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the bottom side of Mothership. We have the South Korean Zerg player leading the series 1-0. It is SHIN. Here we go. As herO does scout top right, looking for his opponent. And we'll eventually find SHIN. Eventually. Setting up his wall. Likewise, SHIN sends his first overlord at top right, and it will take a little bit longer for him to find his opponent as well. Welcome to Mothership. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that we load in here. Mothership is very often vetoed, especially in ZVP. So this is a rarer site. This is a rarer treat here for herO versus SHIN. Let's go. Let us go. Now, this is a larger map in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. Of course, it is a 3-player small map. Because it's so large, I would say that muta play is viable here. It is an option that SHIN has available to him. This time, SHIN does not go for the hatch block. He's going for a much more standard opener, so herO can have a cleaner early game as opposed to game 1. True. I see some comments in the chat. I mean, bearing in mind that herO was also playing from behind to begin with. Remember, that's why I try to emphasize that herO, he did begin that game with 6 oracles. That's why his tech was delayed. That's why his I mean, mainly his tech was very, very late that game, because he committed to 6 oracles, and it was not worth it. It was not worth it. herO did fall behind early on. It was playing catch up, and one of the desperation moves that he went for to play catch up was Mass Carrier. There's context as to why that decision was made. There's context as to why herO did go for that. And again, because SHIN wasn't quite able to punish as quickly as he would have liked to, again, there was definitely potential there for herO, and he did recover that game. I would say that if herO, if he had a stronger defense when it came to warping in and walling off his natural and having units in position against the Ling round buys, that he could have had a much stronger late game there as well. But again, he was torn apart. It was the Ling round buys that really secured and sealed the deal there for SHIN. The round buys, the counterattacks, just ensuring that herO's economy was low. That also explains as to why, like, we had less gateways, less warp-ins, less of a reinforcing army as well. But here we go, we're getting into our next game. So far it's going to be a Stargate open out of herO, opening up Stargate, and so far should be opening up Oracle. We'll see if he does go for a Void Ray opener instead. We'll keep eyes on herO. Ling does slip in, and SHIN confirms the Stargate. Does confirm the tech of choice. Here we are building up. Once again, this game we're going to be looking for the follow-up tech from herO. As he takes his 3rd base, we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council and the Forge. We'll see if it throws them down. We'll see if and when we get our Twilight Council. Last game, one of the big signs and one of the big things that did tip us off when it comes to his Mass Oracle build was the lack of Twilight Council. As things they commit in, Adepts they get 1 drone kill so far, just the 1. 1 drone goes down, Oracle moves out. So far, SHIN is keeping up. Meanwhile, herO did just throw away 2 Adepts, so SHIN can counterattack. No Adepts. There's no Adepts back at home, at least not at the 3rd base. Lings, they do poke in. Thankfully, there is an Oracle just in time to defend the 3rd. So herO's in position. Early Twilight Council out of herO. Now, based on this Twilight Council timing, it does look like Glaive Adepts. We'll keep an eye on any earlier Forge. We'll keep an eye on the gateways. We'll keep an eye on the tech. Now, technically, oh, hello. We have a Forge. Okay, so earlier Council, earlier Forge. I'm leaning more towards Charge now. Glaive should not be an option. You don't get a Forge alongside Glaive Adepts. I'm leaning more towards Charge. We'll see if he goes into Blink. Show us what you got as we're building up into an earlier upgrade. Show us what you got. So herO does have the resources. Yep, there it is. Early Charge. Again, because the earlier Twilight Council, earlier Charge was a greater kind of choice here, a greater option. It's hyper aggressive, of course, and this is designed to catch a player skipping out on tech. If SHIN were to skip out on Roaches, he'd be in danger, but he does get a Roach Warren. Okay, so safety Roach Warren out of SHIN. SHIN, he did not get back into the main. He's currently unaware as to the timing of the tech, but he's playing safe nonetheless. Now, the tech, the Roach Horn is great and all, but does he actually make Roaches? That's the big question here. Does he actually make any safety units? How does he build up? As things they poke in, the shield battery is not yet done. Gets this round on the Stalker. Not bad. And the Stalker barely gets picked up. Lings they pull away. Zealots are being kept hidden. He sees! No, that should not have happened. Oh, as he does here, he does realize Zealots already. SHIN knows. SHIN knows back at home. Roaches are amassing as we speak. He's fully aware of the charge timing that's coming his way. And we see here he immediately techs up. He techs up. Gases are on the way. Templar Archives as well, working towards that Archon Storm follow-up. Zealots are moving up. Remember, SHIN knows. He's fully aware. He's massing up Roaches as we speak. If herO could keep this hidden, then there's a higher chance that SHIN drones, right? There's a higher chance that SHIN takes the 4th base and drones up. If that were to happen, then SHIN could have been caught with his pants down. As I'll say, moving on the right hand side. Roaches are in position. Shin does shut down the army. And behind this, Shin building up in a Roach Hydra. And Shin did not get a fourth base. Ooh, okay. Didn't get a fourth base. Instead, delaying the fourth base in favor of the Hydra Den, in favor of the Hydra production. Building up in a Roach Hydra. And Shin, he might not drone up that fourth. He might cut workers here at 3 bases and commit. And I believe there should be a window. There should be a timing where Shin can push before there's any further tech here, before this storm. Yeah. As more Hydras are amassing. Zalse do hit the third. Queens, they're buying time. And here they come. We got Drop Lords on the way. We have Drop Lords. As we mentioned, this base is just for Larva. It's just for Larva. Shin, he's all in. He's going for the 3 base all in, rushing across the map, more Hydras, more Roaches, and it's going to be a very tight hold here for herO. These ults are buying time. They're distracting. They're pulling the Roaches all the way to the top right-hand corner of the map. This is delaying the all-in from Shin. So nice delay. This army would otherwise already be here. It would already be here knocking down the front door. So big delay. herO's buying time. Storm is still not quite done. He needs a couple more seconds. There's a Chrono. Chrono on Storm. 12 seconds. 10. Yeah, he needs a little bit more time. Looks like Storm does finish in time. He's got 3. Yeah, 1, 2 Storms. There's 1 Storm left. Zoning back the army. Zalse do hit the 3rd base. Queen's getting caught out as well. Ooh, and Shin turned around. Yeah, Shin, he does turn around for a moment. There's soon to be 2 Storms left. Shin can still pull this off. Ooh, there's 1 Storm. I believe there's 1 Storm remaining. Stasis gets baited. Shin has a greater concave. And Shin, he can still pull this off. He can still pull this off here. Again, there's only 1 Storm left. And there it is. Decent connection. And we do have 3 Immortals, true. Yeah, the Immortal count's quite high. Hydras, they start stepping in. Trying to get on top of the Immortals. 1 Immortal is going to go down. Oh, but massive blink. Yeah, massive blink on the army. And here he completely cleans up the right-hand flank. The Immortals survive. Yeah, here it holds. Here he does hold on. He shuts down the all-in. It just took too long. It took far too long here. The Storms bought time for the Immortals as well. And GG gets called. The all-in fails, and we're going all the way to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3. Again, Shin, he had a lot of potential with that all-in, but unfortunately we saw that herO, he was able to buy a lot of time, or I should say, respect to herO, he was able to distract the army. Again, when we saw the Roaches approaching top right-hand corner of the map, I mean, they could have already been pushing into the natural. There definitely could have been a timing there where Shin could have hit pre-storm. Could hit pre-storm, but again, he was distracted. He was dragged away. herO, he bought precious seconds for Storm to finish, and then Storm bought time for the Immortals to finish as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends in game 3 on Tourmaline. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. Loading into game 3. Again, a very intense back and forth here in game 2, with initially herO being the aggressor and then Shin being the aggressor. Back and forth. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, here of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. It is SHIN. Here we go. We are going to be building up. We do see a drone is not sent across the map this time. Oh, I switched you soon. There we go. SHIN, calm down. You're going for the forward base. Okay, it's been a while. Yo, I'm getting almost at Winter Madness. Oh my god, what was the name of that map? Jesus. I just delete map names from my memory once we get past the season. Like God damn it. But this is a setup typically here for an all-in. This typically is kind of foreshadowing to a German taxi, to walk across the map. We'll see if SHIN does decide to commit here. I'm looking up sparkling tuna cup games from like a year ago. Let's see. See, early 2025. For now, standard opener out of herO. Does go for the standard opener. SHIN going hatch gas pool. Everything's looking normal so far. Ultra love, that's it. This is very ultra love. That's what I was looking for. The map that had like red and blue kind of like sides to the map itself. But on ultra love, it was also very similar. Where if you ever took the forward base, then it would typically signify an all-in, and it's typically a German taxi or a roach, a queen walker across the map. The rationale for that is because the creep is going to be spreading that much faster. Now, the question is, does SHIN commit? On the one hand, herO, upon seeing this, should be playing very safe. Like, he should be going for a much safer style and safer build. We could go for early Twilight Council into early Blink. If you remember, that was very common. On Ultra Love, is going Stargate Opener into a third base, into a faster Twilight Council, into early Blink before the Forge. What does that mean? That means that Blink would finish in time for the all-in. So you could have defensive Blink Stalkers. So we'll see how safely herO does decide to play. We'll see if SHIN is even aggressive. True. So now we are saturating. We're building up. SHIN shaking for the third. Slipping into the main. Does slip in. We already have a safety battery here at the natural. Jesus. herO is playing safe. As things that just slip by. Link speed kicks in. SHIN, he moves out. Behind this, SHIN is droning. Bear that in mind. But he's hoping to find some damage here. Full wall. Oh, never mind. Breaks down the wall. Okay. Yeah, the wall is broken. The battery should defend against this, though. This shouldn't get much done. Yeah. We have the Oracle, we have the Adepts. Some cheeky damage out of SHIN. But this third base is late. Again, we're getting we're getting a second pylon low ground, we're getting a shield battery, getting another gateway as well. I mentioned earlier that that herO has to respect this kind of setup here, but he's respecting it too much. Like, he's setting up too early, too soon. Going for a very early Twilight Council before expansion. Now, I did mention earlier in the lead up to this how there is a build where you can get early Blink, early Twilight Council and early Blink to defend against an all-in, but it wouldn't be this early. So I'm leaning more towards Glaives here. I'm leaning towards Glaives, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on herO. Adepts, they threaten the Shade. Lings, they catch the Adepts. Queens, they threaten the Oracle. And it is going to, in fact, be that early Blink build. Okay. This Twilight Council is very early, but mainly in comparison to the third, because the third is late, right? The third is late, so the Twilight Council looks early. As I mentioned before, this does mean that Blink is going to be done in time if SHIN commits into like a Roach all-in, but SHIN is going into Banelings. Okay. Interesting. So SHIN, I'm sure he recognizes how late the expansion is. Banelings is very safe. This does mean that if it was Glaive Adepts, SHIN would have an answer to it, but it's not Glaives. So I actually favor herO coming into this kind of game state here. There's no early Eva Chamber, so late +1 melee. There's no Roach Warren. There's a safety Baneling Nest. SHIN doesn't really have much to work with. He's stuck on like 0/0 Link Queen. No shot, he just walks across the map. He may. Yeah, he's going for it. Okay. It's going to be a Link Queen Bane all-in. Interesting. But remember, because of the build of herO, because of the defensive build, Blink is going to be done in time. Blink is going to be done in time. The queens are walking across the map. Remember, SHIN is all in. And I'm not entirely convinced by this, but we'll see. If SHIN can like force a fight out in the open, then maybe. But I feel like SHIN is he's just playing into herO's hands. herO, he's already got his battery. Second battery's on the way. Blink is now done. And now he has that much more of an efficient army here. And they're making their way into the middle line. herO does pull away. Nice reaction. Very nice force field. Oh my god. And hero's offended. Like, just like that, here he shuts down all the lings. He shuts down all the banelings. Queens are exposed. And with good enough blink control, which herO does have, he should not lose any stalkers. There we go. Nice control. He blinks away. Takes out all the queens. And SHIN, he has nothing left. SHIN, he has nothing left here. SHIN, he's now taking up, going for the Hydrogen. It's too little too late, baby. Not like this. And hero's nobling out control. He's nobling out control. He's moving out across the map. Again, herO was just playing very safe this game. I would say too safe. But SHIN he went for the all-in, so it was worth it. it was worth it in the end. Lings, they try to collapse in. Once again, a nice blink control. Shuts down the Zerglings, shuts down the queens. And GG gets called. herO overwhelms, and herO, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very, very awkward series is what I will say. Very aggressive series, very unorthodox. If you're out there, if you're trying to learn ZVP, I would say do not learn from this series, because there was a lot of mind games. There was a lot of back and forth between both herO and SHIN, a lot of metagaming going on as well. As I mentioned before, leading into this game, SHIN, he had already kind of like telegraphed his all-in by going for the forward expansion, and herO respected it very, very heavily. He went for such a late third expansion, early shield battery, early gateways as well, early Twilight Council, early blink. Like, herO was playing as that's like almost as safe as you can be. And SHIN kind of met him where he wanted to. Like, SHIN, he committed into an all-in, and herO was more than ready for it. So unfortunately, like, as soon as we saw that SHIN wasn't getting a Roach Warren, I was like, oh, is he just gonna drone? But there was no Evo chamber, so SHIN, he wasn't macroing up. He committed to the all-in. Again, it was just a little bit too obvious, and herO was more than prepared. GG, well played. Clutch force field. If you remember, he had already pulled the boys. I feel like even without the force field, I think he would have been fine. Like, Banelings, they trade so poorly against Stalkers. They can't really kind of break that position. But GG nonetheless. Clutch moves nonetheless here from herO. And again, he was just well set up ahead of time. It's well set up ahead of time. And that leads us into the grand finals. Into the grand finals here, it's going to be a best of 5. Best of 5 between herO and Cure. Let's go. Let us go. Sorry, so we're just setting up. As we are settling in. Okay, bearing in mind that Cure did just bring down MaxPax in the previous semifinals match, so Cure did take down MaxPax 2-0 with a very aggressive and very assertive style. Like, herO, he had no chill. He had no chill in that previous series, and MaxPax had a harder time keeping up with him. We'll see how these two, how our new Protoss challenger compares. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Oh, let's go. And I feel like this is just a really prime example of the difference between herO and MaxPax, right? Where MaxPax, he's a lot more standard. He's a lot more kind of structured in his play. He's a lot more structured. He doesn't really have as much leeway when it comes to his builds of choice. We mentioned at the time, he's not really one to go like Stargate, proxy Stargate into Oracle, for example, or go into early charge-based builds. Like MaxPax, he's a lot more rigid when it comes to his playstyle. herO, he's anything but. He's very fluid, sometimes too fluid. Something for sure, for sure. I feel like even the last series was an example of that, where herO, he often does kind of like go with the flow, and at times can be very chaotic, and at times he can fall on its face, or it can excel, right? Like herO, he has a lot of variance, I would say, when it comes to his play, when it comes to his builds. But here we go, opening up proxy 2 gate, and he gambled. He scouts correctly. He scouts Cure. Remember, there are 3 possible spawn locations. herO, for all he knows, Cure could have been on the south side instead, but does find Cure immediately. Cure is going to be opening up double gas. This is a really safe way to open up double gas into a faster factory. So Cure, he's looking pretty solid so far. If Cure was going for a faster command center or a faster economy, I'd be concerned. But again, the factory's already on the way. Fully walls up here on the high ground. Zealots are being produced, and we'll see if herO can overwhelm. Now remember, it's going to be proxy zealots, the cyber core's on the way, there's going to be stalkers reinforcing to eventually break through that wall. It's going to be on Cure to recognize what's going on. So far, Cure, he hasn't seen anything. Reaper does move out, and the Reaper will actually scout immediately. Okay. Oh, Cure, I mean, he spots the Zealots, he knows. Yeah, he spots the Zealots, there's no reason for them to be here. He's fully aware of the proxy 2 gate. He's fully aware. And the bunker is on the way already. So far, a strong response out of Cure. Likewise, he could have gone for a Hellion here, but he's going for the early attack lab into Cyclone. So Cure just has to buy time. He has to buy time for the Cyclone. Stalker has arrived, going to be zoning away the Reapers. The bunker will finish. herO, he chose not to focus on the building SCV, and the bunker will complete, and Cure holds. Cure, he holds onto the main base. So far, this build has not been worth it for herO. You could argue that he's delaying the expansion, true, but he also delayed his own Nexus to do this. So herO, he still needs more damage. And he will lose a Zealot. Zealot goes down. Repair on the depot. Cure, he's looking for herO. He does not find him. A little bit unfortunate. But with the arrival of the Cyclone, again, Cure is fine. Cure, he's perfectly fine. Zones back herO. There's a recall back home. herO, he knows that the Reapers are missing. As Cure is making his way over. Nice positioning here by herO. Ooh, getting one of the Reapers. Does get one. And we'll see if Cure goes for Vikings behind this. We'll see if he goes into a into a 2-base all-in. Oh, as both Reapers get caught out. Cure, he fails to scout the main base. He doesn't see the tech. It is going to be a Stargate follow-up here by herO. Very interesting. Now, with the Stargate, he can go into Oracles. He can do economic damage or deal economic damage across the map. Otherwise, he could open up Phoenixes and try to gain map control with Mass Phoenix instead. herO has options. Here he does have options. herO, he threatens a dive. Tank is revealed. Cyclone does take a lot of hits. Ooh. Taking a lot of damage. Do you have extra axes behind this? And again, Cure is not fully aware as to what the follow-up is going to be. Oh, we have confirmation that herO, he's still teching actually. So Stargates into Phoenix, into Twilight Council, into Charge, I would imagine. You don't often go Blink and Phoenixes at the same time. Typically, it's one or the other. Typically. As Cure does slip by, okay. Slips by the main army. He does avoid the Phoenixes. Slipping into the main. There's that charge follow-up as we had suspected. And herO, does he have a recall? He does have a recall at the natural. Not on the main though. And here he races back home. Drop gets in. And Curie's going for economic damage. He does get probes. 1-2 probe kills so far, not bad. But it's going to be a one-way trip. It's going to be one way. Lock on the Phoenix. Lock on is broken. Oh my god. Still a shaky trade here for herO, losing 2 pieces. Massive losses for herO. The army finally gets home. But again, this is a messy defense. Very messy. Oh my god, losing even more probes. And with that, herO, he will lose 5 probes. 5 probes in total go down, losing 2 Phoenix as well, and Zealots, and also forcing everything back home, and denying mining time. So much damage dealt by that drop, that was well worth it for herO. Well worth it. Back at home, he's building up his tanks, building up his bio. Again, that drop should never have gotten across the map. The Phoenixes were out of position, and once again, despite having Phoenixes, herO does not have air control. He does not have map control. He doesn't have it. Raven moves in. With early charge, ideally herO wants to break the natural, but there's no breaking this. There's a full wall here at the natural base. Cure's fine. Cure's perfectly fine. More auto turrets into the main. Catching up more probes. From here we are building up. We're building up. CranKy is ahead. CranKy has a very comfortable lead here, being able to secure his 2 bases, shut down, deal economic damage. The Stargate Phoenix opener wasn't worth it. In the end, this really hurt herO more than anything because it delayed tech. It delayed the Twilight Council, delayed charge, or what would have been blink. It delayed everything else. CranKy has a massive army to work with. And without splash damage, I don't see herO stopping this. Splash damage or blink stalkers, he has neither. Storm is on the way. And CranKy should not stop. He should just keep on pushing. But now the gate was buying time. Storm is getting up to halfway done. And again, there's a window in time here where CranKy can push and break herO pre-storm. So we got 3 tanks. Hefty amount of bio. Stim is done. Combat shields as well. We go for the feedback. Remember, there's no storm. And we just stim in. Yeah, we can just say, oh, the friendly fire. Okay. Attempted friendly fire at a herO. I mean, that could have been a way to hold on. Storm is done in 6 seconds. There's going to be 1 storm. Yeah, tank shots going off, zoning back the army. Storm is done. But mainly Marauder. Yeah, mainly Marauder here. CranKy breaks on through. He breaks through the main army, breaks through the defensive line, takes down the High Templar, the Archons, the everything. GG gets called, and Cure takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cure takes the lead in the series. Again, a very aggressive and very chaotic build here from herO, which is what we expect out of herO, but it was not worth it. It was not worth it. Running it back from the very beginning, when it comes to this proxy 2-gate build, ideally you want to punish a greedy Terran player. And it's very common for Terran players to be greedy on Mothership. It's a large map. It's a large map. It's a macro map. So herO, he was gambling early on, hoping for a single gas opener and a low ground CC. The purpose of that build from herO is to force a cancel on that CC. But there was no command center. It was a double gas opener, which means a faster factory, faster cyclone, earlier defense from Cure. Blindly as well. It was just a blind defensive build from Cure. He shuts down the aggression of herO. On top of that, herO, he followed it up with a Phoenix opener. He followed it up with Stargate into mass Phoenixes, and he failed to gain map control. The purpose of all those Phoenixes is to contain the Terran, is to stop drop play, is to stop Ravens, stop Banshees, stop any kind of move out, and he failed to stop the move out. He failed to stop the drop, and that also just crippled herO. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let us go. And again, we'll see how our players do adjust here, bearing in mind that I also try to emphasize that a lot of the last game just came down to the builds. A lot of it just came down to the builds, came down to the initial tech choices of our players, and that was unique to Mothership. We should be seeing something very different coming into game 2, 3, 4, and potentially game 5. And let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. Representing T1, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We come from one of the larger maps in the map pool, which is Mothership, into one of the smaller maps, into 10,000 feet instead. Again, a very small map of the map pool, and this makes more sense. Double gas open out of Cure, 2 games in a row, but this does make more sense on a smaller map. Cure, he's going for a more tech-heavy start, and this time herO will confirm. He pokes up the ramp, does spot the gases, and now is fully aware. Fully aware of the build, fully aware of the faster factory. Oh, okay, going for a 2-gate opener here. Very aggressive out of herO. Now, this is almost just like last game. Now, imagine last game, except remember, last game it was a proxy 2-gate. This time, the 2-gate is back at home. But welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet has the shortest rush distance by ground out of any map in the map pool. So again, very small map, short rush distance, so you can rush across the map as quickly as possible. Again, this is a very aggressive start from herO, and he has to get damage with this, otherwise he will fall behind, as this was a big investment early on. With this, he can start making pairings of adepts and go into 2, 4, 6 adepts. He opted not to make the initial zealots, waiting for the cybercore instead. And here we go, adepts are on the way. So again, the pressure's on herO to get economic damage. I believe the goal here should be to delay the CC, assuming that the command center is made on the low ground. So very aggressive start from herO. Cure does poke in, spots the expansion, and does spot the Nexus. Is aware of the timing. And high ground CC. Wow. So Curie scouts, he confirms that the expansion is later than usual. Gets a CC on the high ground, and Curie is very safe. And these eps from herO, there's now less of a chance they get damage done. Not saying that they won't, but the likelihood is now much lower. So he's not stopping, he's getting up to 6. Oh boy. So we're sending out all the adepts. We got 6 adepts on the way. Pressure's on herO. Matchup going off, killing 1 adept already. So down to 5. And we just shuffle the... we can just shuffle the mines. Don't face check, no! He checks with the face. Oh my god, takes it to the face as well. 2 adepts go down, there's 4 left. Oh boy. As Water Mines are about to reset. Behind this, going for the Stargate. Again, there's a lot of pressure on herO. This time herO can bait out the mine shots. It's mistimed. Yeah, it's mistimed. herO, we gotta lock in. Mistimes the Adept Shade, losing 3 Adepts already for nothing. Oh no, he's gonna lose all 4. He's gonna lose all 4 Adepts. There's 2 left. We can just pick up. We can just pick up. 0 damage sustained here for Cure. Ay, ay, ay. And this is a very rough start for herO. Again, the entire purpose of this build was to go into 6 adepts and to harass across the map and to deal economic damage to contain the Terran. But already he loses 4 adepts for nothing. Oh god. Now behind this, going to Phoenixes. Phoenixes are amassing to hunt down the medevac. Curie commits into the mineral line. Phoenix is revealed. And the Water Mine should be lifted. Jesus, just in time. The Phoenix is going to be focused down though. The mine. The mine is barely focused down. Nice defense here by herO. They get a very clutch defense. The Cyclone comes from behind, takes down the Phoenix. Ay, 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 no shot. Barely unloads. Cyclone pulls away. get a very chaotic drop here from Cure, but he gets the most out of it. Takes down 2 probes. Takes down the Phoenix. Now, there is comeback potential here for herO. Cure, he's also committing himself. He's committing into Cloak Banshee. Now, up against Phoenixes, it is going to be difficult for the Banshees to get across the map and to find damage unscouted. It's going to be difficult. herO, he has yet to scout the main. If he does, he will see the research. And he pokes in, he confirms. Yeah, he confirms the research on the tech lab. He knows. Behind this, we should be seeing an Oracle. Robo's still on the way. Yep, here comes the Oracle for detection. So nice scouting, nice reaction out of herO. Banshee does hit the natural though, and there's no detection currently. No shot, the Oracle's still on the way. Yeah, 0 detection. Probes are going down, getting up to 5, getting up to 6 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, again, the scout was too late. The reaction was too late. There's the revelation. That's still going to be 10 probes going down. And this Banshee has more than paid for itself. 11 probes. 12. Yeah, 12 probe kills, crazy damage. And herO, he's stumbling into the game here. Stumbling into the mid game. Cure's ahead, of course. Cure, he's ahead economically. He's up in production, up in army, up in tech. He's looking solid. I wouldn't have blamed him to go for a 2-base all-in, but he's going for a 3rd CC. Cure's looking very comfortable. As eventually finds 2 more probes. What was that? 14 kills in total. See, chat, that's why I made 2 extra. True. It's the Avex. I think that's in reference to the adepts going down. So that's why he kept making adepts. He knew he was going to lose them. True, baby, true. Also, good morning and get some sleep. Get some rest, baby. Get some rest. If you're out there and if you're in the Americas and if you're watching live right now, then get some rest, baby. Aye, aye, aye. But thank you so much as well. Thank you so much. The passion is real. Es the Avex. Take care, baby. Take care. That's Phoenix as they come in from behind. They do get some SCVs, but Curie just commits. He just commits across the map. Now, back at home, because of the Stargate and because of the Phoenix production, charge is not done. There is no charge, there is no Twilight Council upgrade, but there are some defensive immortals. True. There are how many? There are 2. There are 2 immortals back at home. That's going to be 9 SCVs going down. Phoenix as they race back home as well. And the Phoenix, they can lift the tank. They can try. He's within range. The 3rd base is going to be denied. Massive pickoff. Denies the 3rd base. Cure, he got what he wanted. Stim is done. As he stims into the natural. Tank is exposed. And he gets into the middle line. Immortal goes down. The tank will fall. And Curie just commits in. He just sends it. He just sends it into the natural. herO out of position. Getting 6 probe kills and going further in. Going for Storm. No shot. Storm. Storm is going to be denied. Massive pickup. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, there's no Storm. There's no splash damage. Again, the hallucination is fake. Immortal goes down. And Curie just snowballs out of control. He snowballs out of control. GG gets called. And Cure, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG. Well played. Ay, ay, ay. Cure, he does cement his lead here. Again, winding it back, herO, he committed into an aggressive opener. Very, very aggressive opener, opening up 6 adept. And what happened? He killed nothing and he lost 4. It was a brutal start. It was a brutal start there for herO. And remember, behind that, he then followed up with the Stargate into Phoenix production. He failed to scout, or I should say he did scout the Banshee follow-up, but too late. Too little, too late. Remember, when he saw the Banshee, he instantly reacted with his own Oracle, and it was halfway done, but the Banshee had already gone across the map. Again, that's just how late the scout was. Banshee was already in the bases. 14 probes went down. That was game-ending damage. GG. GG, well played. As Q moved out, and herO could not stop him. Not after how brutal the early game was. It just really brutal early game. Both in game 1 and game 2, actually. Both game 1 and game 2, he has taken a massive lead in the early game. We got to tighten up that. We got to calm down. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Both game 1 and game 2, herO has opened up hyper aggressive, and the aggression has not paid off. He's been falling behind as a result. We got to calm down. Calm down, baby, calm down. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner. My eyes are on this probe, by the way. God damn it. In the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Okay, probe scout. Thank God. That was very early probe scout. That was before the pylon, by the way. In the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. hero's paranoid about proxy. We have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. But again, a very early probe scout out of herO. Again, it was a probe across the map almost at the start of the game, before the first pylon as well. So very paranoid play out of herO. And technically, this means that Cure has a slight lead early on, just because of the inefficiency here of the scouts, just because it means that there was one worker that wasn't mining a little bit longer than usual. As herO confirms the double gas opener. And again, I don't blame herO for scouting early, especially because Cure is up 2-0. There's a high chance that Cure would just proxy 2 racks. Very, very high chance. He's done it before. I'm still thinking about I Am Katowice 2024. It's still rent-free in my mind. Forever. For those who remember, that was in the, I think it was in the quarterfinals where Cure, he proxy 2 racks, Marauder rushed herO, and he knocked him out of the tournament. That was on Golden Aura, I think? No, it wasn't Golden Aura. It was Golden something. Hold on, what was Golden Aura? No, yeah, no, it was on Golden Aura. There we go. For now, though, double gas opener, 3 games in a row, going for the faster factory. Once again, a bit of a safer start out of Cure. Meanwhile, herO, for the first time this series, going for a standard opener. Just a gate cyber expand out of herO. Standard opener for the first time. Do we begin the comeback? Potentially. Potentially. Just catching with the shout. Yo, big shout to Luis GGG. Gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Catching with the shot. Taking a map. I'm locked in. I just woke up though. Oh no. Oh wait, I have therapy today. Get some rest, Avex. Get some rest. Oh no. Set your alarm. Look after yourself, Pack. Look after yourself. But also good to see you, and I wish you the best. I'm assuming that you're going to be submitting some maps for the TLMC. I'm making the assumption. So best of luck for the upcoming Team Liquid map contest. As Reaper Hellion does poke in. Yeah, pokes into the mineral line and getting 1 probe kill so far. Oh, never mind. I spoke. There we go. 1 probe does go down. And we try to go for the scouts. We dive in for the scout here. First Reaper does fall. Gets further behind the mineral line. No tech yet. And we might get an extra probe kill. Denies some mining time and does get 1 more probe. 2 in total. 2 probes go down. It's some damage. Likewise, did scout the tech and did confirm the blink that's on the way. There's 1 gateway at the natural. There's 1 gateway in the main. It's going to be 2 gate blink into a 3rd economic build out of herO. I appreciate this. I appreciate the breath of fresh air after game 1 and game 2 where herO was hyper aggressive. Here we're just chilling. We're just expanding. We're just macroing up. Appreciate it. So again, 2 gate blink to the 3rd. This is one of the most economic builds you can go for in TVP. Water Angel gets called out. It's a very nice cat. herO. Oh my god. He shuts down the medevac. He tries to bait out the mine shots. herO. He's locked in. He's playing StarCraft. Let's go. Let's go. See, herO, he just had to get all the aggression out of his system. He was just all pent up. He had to let it out. And now we can play some StarCraft. True. Catching up the mines. Catching up the medevac. 0 damage being dealt. And back at home, we do have herO going towards own a 3-1-1 follow-up here. But so far, this has been the best early game that herO has had the entire series, to be honest. It's been the cleanest early game. Did lose a couple of probes back at home. I believe that was to... was that Raven Harass? No, not quite. Raven's still on the way. But a couple of workers that go down. But remember, herO is going for a fast third, so we can sustain some economic losses. Can't sustain it. So yeah, probably. I haven't decided. I can still technically swap to judge, but I'll probably submit. Regardless of whether you decide to judge or submit, best of luck, Pappy. Best of luck. Ah. So now we are building up. We do have herO going for a blink, followed by charge into Colossus as a splash damage of choice. Okay. Again, we're macroing. Like, we have yet to experience a macro game between these two. Like, it's like it just hasn't happened. Also, the aesthetic SimCity here. We got a full wall out of Kira. Very nice. Ensuring that any kind of blink stalker aggression would be denied. Clean SimCity here out of Cure. Ay, ay, ay. There are TCs on the way. Again, we're getting to the mid game. So the game is slowing down. We're calming down. We're building up. When it comes to Winter Madness is known for longer and later games. It's one of the larger maps in the map pool. Raven Harass across the map. It does get a couple of probe kills. Oh, 4 probes in total. Raven barely gets away. Oh no! The Raven! No! Oh, Raven does fall. Nice pick off here. Nice pick off at a herO. Nice pick off. Secure is being active. So being active, he's moving out. Trying to catch any stray stalkers. There's only one. The Prism. Oh no! The Prism! He's not paying attention! Massive pick off. The Prism goes down as herO. He was inattentive. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, did react a couple of seconds too late. Massive pick off here for Cure. Without that Prism, he doesn't have to stay at home. Yeah, there's no reason to keep any supply back at home. The Prism is going down. Cure, he commits across the map. herO's in trouble. He's in danger. herO, he has 1 Colossus. He has 1 Colossus back at home. Meanwhile, Cure, his goal here is to lay siege upon either the 4th base or the 3rd. Stalkers, a catchment of X. Massive pickoffs here. Getting 1, getting 2. 2 Mnevics go down. Very nicely done. We're getting messy. Tanks do siege. Not many zealots. Yeah, there's not many chargelets here. Stalkers, they're being zoned away. Tanks are within range of the 3rd, and the 3rd Nexus is going to go down. Yeah, the base does fall. Massive pickoff. From here, Cure can either keep pushing in or can head towards the 4th base. We come in for the surround. He blinks. He does go for the dive. Tanks will fall, and herO, he will clean this up, but at a cost. Yeah, at a cost here. It's going to be 9 probe kills. Most of the charge lots, the expansion itself. Even here, picking up stalkers in the retreat. Does catch a couple of stalkers. Here he pulls out, pulls away. Again, picking up another stalker. Another double drop here towards the natural. herO's out of position. Does he have a recall? He does. Okay, there's a recall. Recall is available. Drop is getting in. How many probe kills are we going to find? No, he just chronoed. No, he just chronoed the robo. No recall. herO commits. We're going for the base trade. Yeah, the natural's forfeit. The robo is being focused down, and the Colossus will not pop out. Just oh, no, it barely does. Barely pops. We're committing. herO, can he do this? Oh my god, catching out what, 11 SCVs. herO forcing his way in. Gets a Marauder. Marauder goes down. Drop is still being active. We're getting very messy. herO's down to 39 probes, but thankfully he does have a backup 4th base, so he does have some economy. Does have an economy. Drop into the main. Catching on more probes. Nice damage. Yeah, 6 more probes going down. It's going to be a one-way trip. This time the Mnevics start falling. Oof. It does not get out. Cure, he has a better economy, but when it comes to the army here, we're up to now 3 Colossus. Yeah, 3 Colossi for herO. Here he's rallying with everything he has, sending everything across the map. And I'm not so sure that Cure can expand. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. herO still reinforcing. Colossus getting low. He's going to lose 1. He's too soon. Yeah, he's too soon. Losing 1, losing 2, losing all 3. He attacked with only 2 of the Colossus, and here he will lose everything. He'll lose all 3 Colossi, but the Stalker army does break through. We're getting messy. Getting very messy here. The Vikings, they land. They punish the Stalkers. Boys are being pulled. Cure getting desperate. Oh god, a very messy defense. And here he's killing everything. He's just killing all the SCVs. That's going to be 20 SCVs going down, diving on the Vikings. And we have a series, Pat. We have a series. We have a back and forth. It's still very messy. Very messy. But with Zealot reinforcements, hero's done it. Like here, he overwhelms the army, breaks through the reinforcements, gets on top of the medevacs. And here it does have enough to break through the bunker. And the bunker falls. Here is doing it. It's not going to be 3 games, Pat. Let's go. As again, here he's reinforcing from back at home. There's no proxy pylon or warp prism, so reinforcements take a long time to arrive for herO. But GG gets called, and herO does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Here he does fight back. Again, a very intense game though. Very intense, very back and forth. Cure, he was successful when it came to his push. He was able to break the expansion. He was able to break the economy as well. But in the end, because of the lack of recall, fun fact, herO was forced to base trade. He was forced to base trade. He committed across the map. We ended up in a really awkward position where sure, Cure, he was killing some workers. He was getting economic damage done, but he barely didn't have enough back at home to defend. He was sustaining so many losses with his SCVs. He was being denied the 3rd base as well. And Cure was unable to stabilize. Just barely. GG. GG, well played. Whew, as we are getting into game number 4. I'm going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Another one of these smaller maps. Okay. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1, putting a point on the board and looking to make a series out of this. Can he force the ace match? It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Still 1 game away from claiming the series. Una más, back. Una más. Here we go. As every game so far in the series, Cure, he has been going for double gas openers. Once again, we have a very fast scout out of herO, just ensuring that there is no proxy. Don't blame him. Do not blame him. Does move out, does check, does scout. Once again, confirming double gas. Every game so far. Double gas into a faster factory, into a more tech-heavy start. It does make more sense, though, on Ruby Rock. Welcome to Ruby Rock. This is one of the smaller maps. The map pool aggression is favored here. And we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. The one game that herO won, we actually had a more standard economic opener. He wants that to see. Jesus. Calm down. That probe does threaten the workers. Threatens the SCVs. From here we are just building up. And we have seen Cure mix up his builds here, going into Reaper Hellion, going to early Cyclone, going into Widowmine drop follow-ups as well, going to Cloak Banshee. Keep an eye on Cure. Likewise, on a smaller map, especially because of the size of the map itself, I wouldn't be surprised if herO does mix in an early charge-based build. Especially if you believe your opponent's going to be more aggressive. That is going to be an option here for herO. settling in. CC is going to be on the low ground. We have our Tech Lab and Add-on swap here from Cure. So no commitment into Reaper Hellion. It's only going to be a singular Reaper. So singular Reaper into Cyclone instead. Is being deflected. We do have extra gateways being thrown down, so we have a Twilight Council take of choice, a gateway here at the natural, and one gateway in the main. So far, it looks like 2 gate blink out of herO. Last game we saw 2 gate blink into a fast third base, but that makes sense on a larger map. Here, herO throws down another gateway, playing it safe. So 2 gate blink, safer build out of herO. We'll see if he throws down a Robo as well. This blink is on the way. And again, Cure is aware of at least the Twilight Council. So we're the Twilight Council behind this, going for his own Widowmine drop. Widowmines are amassing. Last game here, he had an impressive display of defense against the Widowmines, against the Medivacs. Again, here he was popping up. It was crazy. Adept is called out. herO does expand. I believe this is a third base before the Robo, so this is a bit of a middle of the road build. I wouldn't say this is overly safe, but it isn't overly greedy. It's maybe a little bit more on the greedy side just because we are expanding without the Robo. So lack of detection, no ability to make defensive immortals. And this is a little bit greedier here. So Hydro comes in. Oh. Getting 2 pro kills so far. Can we get 3? Oh, the retargeting gets a Stalker. Not bad. 2 probes and a Stalker. A nice trade here for Cure, especially considering he does save one of the mines. The Medevac as well. Does save them. Does keep the drop hidden. Cure behind this, rushing into Stim. Going for Raven Harass as well. No Banshees, not this time. And herO doesn't really have the potential to push into any of these bases. He has no high ground vision. Remember, he has no Robo. Oh! So Mind Drop is back. Once again, still gets away, gets another probe. Another probe pulls out. So because they do pick up the Marines. Catching out 3 Marines so far. This time, not going for Colossus. We're going to be following up with Storm. So Temple Archives into Storm. As that Medevac can still threaten the bases. You can get back in. As outside of that, we're still just kind of building open 3 bases. Storm has now begun. From the side of Cure, we should soon be seeing a 3rd command center. Oh, speaking of, hello SCV. Cure, he has the money for it. Oh, never mind. There's CC on the low ground, but regardless, 3rd base is on the way. So 3rd CC is on the way. Cure building up into the mid game. Throwing down Maxes instead. And Cure does slip out. I believe ideally he wants to catch out these Stalkers. He wants to move out, force a blink, and then stim in from behind. We'll see if he can try to ferry herO over towards the left-hand side. Can he force that blink? Oh, he does push him into the center. There's a blink. He sims in, and he does catch 1. Does catch maybe 2 Stalkers. Does he get 3? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Stalkers getting caught out. Oh, barely just 2. Regardless, nice catch for Cure. Yeah, nice catch. Secure's not being active. Remember, Storm is done. That's a lot of High Templar. Jesus, that's 5 High Templar. It's a lot of storms. Speaking of, the storms zone away. They're mainly zoned for now. Tank attempts a siege. Decent spread here from Cure. And he takes control of the ramp. It takes over the ramp, zones away the Protoss. herO does not have many storms remaining. Actually, he's down to 1. Uh-oh. Yeah, only 1 storm left. Again, here he was a little bit too cavalier with his storms earlier. There's the NG overcharge. Okay, he's got 2. Getting up to 2. Nice kiting. Tank does 4. No more zealots. Oh my god, massive storm. Okay, we're fine. We're fine in the end here. Curie does take the storm to the face. herO does hold. And Curie has to get the hell out of there. Has to pull back. So we have it back and forth. Oh, cashing out a medevac. Behind this here, he survives. Now he can expand, get a 4th base, and take up into Colossus. So the base on the way for Colossus. At the same time, Cure establishes his 3rd base, building up into Ghosts and into Vikings. herO wants to push in, though. He has 2 High Templar. So 2 storms left. Curie's going to be careful. There's a first storm and no major connections. Yeah, a bit of a waste there. Here he has to back off. Curie, he holds, he defends. Now we're building up in towards the mid game. Coming into the mid game here, I do favor Curie's position. One of the big factors is that hero's 4th is late. It's a very late 4th base for herO. So that is a concern. Does that position though? Here come the storms. Oh my god, the EMP though. Yeah, catching out 3 High Templar. We have more storms coming in. Does he land the EMP? Nice feedback. And nice feedback on the Ghosts. Another storm lands. Jeez, the army is deep in the red. And there's still 1 storm left. Oof. Yeah, catching out the Marines. But with that here, he's out of storms. He has to get the hell out of here. He overextends. Big overextension. Archons are going down. High Templar are going down. And here he cannot get out of here. Yeah, he cannot escape. He can escape with the Stalkers, but what about the Immortal? The Immortal is going to fall as well. Massive losses for herO. Charge also coming from behind. Good punish. Catching out Ghosts, catching out Marauders. We have it back and forth. Yeah, we have it back and forth. We're getting messy. Colossus, we're just rallying everything. Let's go. Cuidado. Be careful. Uh oh. EMP lands. He wants a Colossus. He wants him. Oh my god. He wants the Colossus. Doesn't quite get it though. High Templar, they're coming to reinforce. They don't have a storm. There's soon to be 1. Yeah, we have 1 storm. Sorry, now 2, now 3. 3 storms available. Curious here overextending. Does get a Colossus. Oh, barely not. Oh my god. It's on 1 HP. The 1 HP Colossus. herO. He gets away with it. He's crazy. 1 HP, man. Here he does hold on, takes over the ramp. Cure has to back off. Behind this, no Vikings. Uh-oh. Yeah, no Vikings remaining here. Does scan the army. Storms, they do lead the charge. There's 3 more High Templar with the army. Now up to 3 Colossus. Ay, ay, ay. And with 3 Colossi, this might just be too much. That's a lot of lasers. Armor shard goes off. Nice connection. And nice shred of the armor. That was the final storm. Cure getting on top of the Colossus. Barely not. They cannot break through. Another High Templar's rallying in. Another storm. Storm sent to the Bible, nothing else. What are you talking about? We've had some crazy storms this game. What? MJG is not watching the game. Yeah, the Academy is going to be going down. And Cure's being just split apart. CC falls as well. And again, here just waiting himself into the bases, catching reinforcements. Curie cannot keep up. Not anymore. Again, the storms have been too good. The Colossus, they survived. building up to 3. One Colossus finally goes down. Ooh, Prism does siege. Will also fall as well. Overextending. Down to 1, down to 0 Colossus. But what about the Gateway Army? What about the Gateway Army here? As herO does break through. Reinforcing with another Colossus. Does save it. And GG gets scored. GG gets scored. Another massive storm of the army. And herO, he ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO, he does tie things up here. Again, a crazy aggressive game from both herO and both Cure. We were working with very little units. It was a very low supply kind of mid game here. A lot of action, a lot of fighting, working with a handful of units like 5 High Templar here and there, 1 or 2 Colossus, barely any support. Likewise for Cure as well. And that could have gone either way. That could have gone either way. A world where that one Colossus didn't survive. If he got shut down, if he didn't escape with 1 HP, if we landed 1 more EMP, if the feedback didn't land on the Ghost either, like there was a lot of intensity, a lot of back and forth there. And Cure, he was barely broken. It's barely broken. herO did overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. And with that, that's leading us into the ace match. Into game 5. Let's go. Going to be on the Old Republic. Oh, don't be a clown in the chat. Cuidado, papi, cuidado. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. As we are getting into the ace match, the final game of the series, and we'll see how our players will adjust. Now, what's important here is that every game in this series, Cure has gone for a double gas opener. Without fail, game 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have gone for double gas openers. On some of the maps it made sense, on other maps it felt like Cure was being overly safe and overly cautious, but it did pay off in the end, especially early on in the series. Now that we get into the ace match, especially on a larger map, do we finally go economic? Do we go Rax Expand? Let's go. Let us go. Single gas opener and Rax Expand economy start at a Cure for the first time this series. For the very first time. At the same time, we have herO back at home going for a standard opener. There's no crazy gateway shenanigans. There's no crazy early probe scout either. It's going to be a bit of a later scout instead, a much more standard timing out of herO. Now, welcome to the Old Republic. The Old Republic is a larger map of the map pool, larger map, longer rush distance by ground. One of the major features here is how exposed the 4th base is. The 4th base is more open, is more exposed. That typically does hurt the Terran player in a macro game, just because often the Protoss will gain map control, they'll take all these bases, and they will punish that 4th base time and time and time again. It can be difficult to build up here into a longer game. In saying that, though, it's been a really aggressive series. Like, we haven't really calmed down into a macro game. It hasn't really happened. Even in Game 3 on Winter Madness, which was the closest we got to a macro game, things popped off when Cure pushed across the map and got on top of the 3rd base and then forced the base trade. Like, even the most quote-unquote macro game that we've had this series has been hyper-aggressive. So, even though we have potential to slow the game down here, to calm down, build up on 4 bases, it just hasn't happened yet this series. Just hasn't happened. We'll see where our players take us this time. For now, Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener out of herO. There's just been a lot of aggression, a lot of intensity, a lot of early fights, a lot of early engagements. Cure heals force off center, he can lift, he can land, but this will delay the CC for Cure, so a small win here for herO early on. Oh, hello. Okay, so a couple of things here. For the first time this series, it's an economic start, and the follow-up here, that is a fast second Rax. Very fast second Rax, delayed starport. From here, we might even go for a 3rd Rax as well, into a fast stim timing, into a heavy bio mid game, into potentially a 2-base all-in. Eyes are on Cure. Yep, there it is. 3 Rax. So 3 Rax follow-up. Basically what's happening here is that Cure is delaying his starport, he's delaying medevac production, delaying drop play, delaying anything starport related for a heavy bio army and early stim. So again, there's Yadon swap to get to stim, to get into combat shields. This doesn't have to be an all-in, but this is very aggressive. And this can turn into an all-in by pulling the boys. You just pull the boys, you commit on 2 bases. I don't like the idea of going for a 2-base all-in specifically on the Old Republic. I do think that this map is working against you when it comes to that early game aggression, but we'll see. Regardless, it's going to be on herO to scout. herO back at home is going 2-gate, I believe. Yes, 2-gate blink into a third, so we have a greedy build out of herO. Hallucination moves out, and he has to get eyes on the production. The pressure's on herO. Moves out with hallucination. Dips into the main. And he will confirm all 3 racks. As he sees combat shields, he sees them, he knows. So hero's fully aware. Upon seeing this, the pressure is going to be on herO to be active on the map, to spot the move out, to slow down the push, to delay the push, to be able to buy enough time to build up back at home. Remember, herO doesn't really have much production. He only has 2 gateways. He chose to rush into a fast 3rd base, so herO is being greedy, and Cure confirms the greed with the Marine Scout. So big scout there from Cure. Does scout the 3rd, is aware. And we'll see what Q can get done. Behind this, we have the starport, so it looks like we are building up into a longer game, but it's going to be a late 3rd base for Cure, and again, a heavy bio setup. Stalkers they poke in. No safety bunker. So Stalkers they trade well. And again, we spoke about this. This is what herO needs to do. herO, he scouted the build. He saw how aggressive Cure wants to be. And before Stim is done, we're picking up Marines. One after the other. Every Marine counts. That's 5 Marines going down. A very efficient trades here for herO. It's all about picking away at the army and weakening the force before it gets across the map. Oh. Gets another Marine. That's 6 Marine kills. It's almost a full medevac. Almost a full medevac worth of Marines. He wants another. Get 7. 7 Marines go down. Back at home, he's massing up his army. No charge yet. We should be seeing charge soon, though. Oh, as Marauders, they lead the charge this time, and herO, he has to respect it. Oh, he reinforces, though. Never mind. He wants the Marauders. Barely doesn't get it. Doesn't get the Marauder, but he gets low. 1 Stalker goes down. Finally, herO gets punished, at least somewhat. And there's Charge. Charge is now on the way. Charge is a little bit late, but is on the way. Gets another Marine. That's 8 Marines going down. 3rd CC is on the way. And that timing, that move out that Cure wanted to hit, he is missing it. Oh. He is missing it instead. He's now going for his drop. Here he reinforces with more Stalkers. That's a little bit scary. It means he has less to defend back at home, but he does get the Cyclone. Cyclone goes down. A very nice pickup. Here he's trying to be active. He's trying to send something across the map. Anyway, here he wants his Marauders. Oh. Doesn't quite get them. Here he's going to be rallying across the map. So again, he has that much less to defend back at home. He's got a shield battery. He does have a recall. He gets spotted. Okay, the drop gets spotted by the pylon. herO does react. Oh, losing a Stalker. Yeah, herO getting a little bit too excited, forcing a Warping back at home. herO getting caught out. Losing more Stalkers. Yeah, losing 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh my god, 7 Stalkers go down. herO, he was distracted. We were distracted. Yeah, the drop did distract. Here he does slip up. That was a big catch from Cure, catching 7 Stalkers. That should not have happened. Here he is now losing map control. Oh. Gonna be zoned away. And Cure is back in this. Cure, he's back in this at this point. He's got a hefty army. The first Colossus still on the way. You see the pieces that are trying to bait out mine shots. The hallucinations, I mean. And that is an interesting 4th location, by the way. It's very isolated. It's very out in the open. Curie does spot it. Does rotate. Gets a pylon. Gets the other as well. With the other Colossus, though, here should be fine. Yeah, here he should be able to defend. Catching out Marines, Marauders, punishing Cure from overextending. That's what, 3-4 Marauders going down. Ay, ay, ay. And Hero's not stopping. Yeah, here he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop. He wants to keep pushing. Widowmines do zone him back. As Hero's rallying across the map. The first Colossus has arrived. Remember what we said earlier, how we didn't really expect the players to just calm down and macro up into 4 bases? That's not happening. It's not happening, Pappy. We just keep committing. The first Colossus has made it. If Hero had a War Prism, he could reinforce and push into the bases. I guess that's one of the upsides here of this forward expansion, is faster reinforcements across the map. Slightly faster, without a proxy. As Hero, he wants to push. Disruptor production has begun. Interesting. Going for the Disruptor already. Hero peeling off some Zealots, heading into the mineral line. Only 2. Nothing major. And Hero, can he break through? It's only 1 Widowmine, there's not much splash damage. Now up to 2 Colossus, up against 4 Vikings. And nice spread, nice concave. Here he does have that army advantage. He's got so many Zealots. He's got 23 Zealots. More than there are Marines. More than Marauders. And here you can see he just wants to commit in. He wants to send it back. Oh, it does catch 4. Yeah, 4 Marauders get caught out. Nice catch. Disruptor has arrived. Nova goes up. Catching the Widowmine. Catching the mine. Yeah, Curie's struggling here in the defense. Bleeding out a lot of units. I like how he skipped the base and is going for bottom right. I don't know if that was intentional, but sure. As here he does mass expand, he has map control, containing Cure, forcing the boys to be pulled, losing more mining time. So Nova goes off, grazing the army. It's like, here, we don't need a ninja base. Sure, why not? Just like taking whatever he can. There's no good force fields. I mean, he caught out 4 Marauders. Like, the point is catching out the army so he can now trade. The point was locking down units, which he is. And here it can just keep reinforcing. And these Vikings, they're dead supply. There's no more Colossus. Yeah, Zealots get into the mineral line, breaking on through. Ooh, better Novas, better connections, and Curie's struggling. He's struggling to defend here. Again, he's barely mining from his 3rd. Barely back. Ninja base for the fans, for the aura. True. Oh, no. Oh, as we do need some more gateway units though. Okay, this army is now becoming a little bit more fragile. Hero, we got to reinforce, we got to warp in. As Zealots are coming. Hero's making 4 he's he's on quadruple robot production. He's crazy. He's making 4 disruptors at a time. Hero, calm down. This is going to be hurting you more than anything. If we have just mass disruptor, we need some support. He's crazy. Oh no. All the Novas, Pappy. I mean, they're connecting. Novas are popping off. Crashing into Cure. More disruptors are on the way. Now going double Warp Prism. Why not? We got the robots for it. Just make everything. Why not, Pappy? Why not? He's got 11 disruptors. It's 2022 all over again. Oh my god, but the lifts though. Jesus. Cure, calm down. The control does avoid the Novas. With the Vikings, I should say, but not with the Bio. As Cure's being zoned back. Now Cure, he has been slowly building up his army. He does have his 3rd base now fully operational. I'm still not entirely sold here by Mass Disruptor. Like, he's getting value, but I'm just so concerned when Cure decides to commit in. We have 11. We're about to have 14 Disruptors, by the way. But have 14. He's lost his mind. Oh, no. herO, calm down. We come in for the surround. Yeah, locking down the Disruptors. Novas are going up in a panic. A couple of them do connect, but the Disruptors are on their own. They're on their own. They're being focused down. That's what, 5 Disruptors falling. We get a couple of decent Novas. Oof. Novas that do grace the army. But Cure breaks out. And again, building up into 15 Disruptors is not ideal. Like, you have nothing but Disruptors, Pappy. He's not stopping, by the way. He's still making 4 Disruptors at a time. He's not stopping. Oh, no. One thing about the reason why Mass Disruptor is a shaky thing to achieve here is just because, like, once your Novas are being sent, you don't really have any support for the army. Disruptors themselves are quite fragile. They're vulnerable. They need that supportive army. They themselves are more of a supportive unit. So sinking so much supply into Disruptors, it's risky. It's very, very risky. At the same time, herO going for his counterattack, peeling off into the third and the natural. Disruptors are exposed. Here we have 3 Novas going off. A decent connection towards the end. But they're on their own. The Disruptors, get out of here. No. Oh my god. Yeah, again, they're all on their own. At the same time, Zelsay did get into the main. 18 SCVs going down, and the Disruptors, do they survive? No shot. Oh, here we go. The Doom drop. Yeah, drops on the army, dives on in. Reinforcements have arrived. Disruptors, they survive. They survive, Pappy. He gets out of there. And behind this here is on 84 probes. What's really winning here in this game, the Zalarambe. The Zalarambe finally got cleaned up, but again, crippled the economy. An economy that was barely there. Curie's down to 40 SCVs. Getting a 4th base. herO is recomposing himself. He's recomposed. We're bringing 14 Zealots. Thankfully, here he stopped making Disruptors. At one point, he had 15. Now he's down to 7. Yeah, the Bio Army does come in from behind, catching out the Colossus. We need those Zealots, though. Yeah, we need those Chargers. They come in, they support, they buffer. With that, herO, he takes the fight. Yeah, just barely. Cure, he just cannot sustain these losses here. He needs another expansion. He needs another base. That's the main, by the way. The main is floating over. Trying to take his 5th. But GG gets called. GG gets called. Cure, he just runs out of steam, runs out of money, and herO, he will claim the series 3-2, becoming the WardiTV Monday number 73 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO, he does claim the series. Again, a very intense back and forth series here, going all the way to the ace match. We saw a lot of aggression throughout the entirety of this matchup, even this final game as well, where we did technically work towards 5 bases. Cure by no means was comfortable getting into a longer and later game. herO was hyper aggressive, hyper assertive at that 3rd base, knocking it down, forcing trades, forcing fights. Cure had a very hard time defending his 3rd. We saw the force fields, we saw the Novas, we saw the Zealots, and herO, he got far enough ahead where he felt the need to go quadruple robot production. That was crazy. And it almost killed him, to be fair. Like, it was very, very shaky going into up to what, 15 Disruptors. It was insane just how many Disruptors herO was getting up to. Back in the day, this used to be more viable, if you remember. It was not uncommon before the supply nerf. If you remember, there was a nerf to the Disruptor where they increased the supply, and the reason why they increased the supply was because we were unironically seeing 12 Disruptors, but because they only took 2 supply each, it was 12 Disruptors with like a Colossus, like gateway heavy composition, just bullying Terran players. This is also when the radius was larger and when the damage was greater as well. And we unironically would see, again, this was back in like 2022, 2023-ish era of StarCraft, like 12 plus Disruptors in the late game, and you just have non-stop Novas, and it got a little bit ridiculous. And that's what prompted the eventual Disruptor nerf in regards to supply and the damage and the radius and all of that. eventually did prompt that. Yeah, it was very reminiscent. It was it was reminiscent. The downside, of course, is there was almost nothing but disruptor for a while there, and it was a little bit risky. It was scary. Got away with it. Survived with the disruptors. You had mass expansions anyway. GG. Este hero. The Protoss Swarm host, kind of. Yeah, there's some similarities, of course. There are definitely similarities in regards to like the Swarm host. When you send out a Locust Wave, it's vulnerable, right? It's like dead supply when the Locust Wave goes off. Similar with disruptors, when the Nova goes off, it's kind of dead supply and you're vulnerable. So you got to be careful with that sort of thing. Got to be careful. Disruptors Protoss unit got nerfed, right? Yeah. It was like a year ago at this point. It's been quite some time in regards to the supply nerf. So they couldn't amass up anywhere near as much as previously. But GG, well played. As herO, he does claim the series. Again, a very intense back and forth. Shout out to Cure, by the way. For those who maybe weren't here earlier, how did Cure get here? He beat MaxPax. He 2-0'd MaxPax in the semifinals. Cure had a very impressive showing, had a very aggressive showing against MaxPax. And even here, Cure was up 2-0. Like, he almost 3-0'd herO. Like, it was even that third game was looking shaky for herO, referring to the game on Winter Madness. Like, there's definitely a world where Cure could have won this series. It was very close, very clutch, very intense. herO, big shout out, pulls off the reverse sweep, winning 3 games in a row. Crazy. Crazy games, crazy matches. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO, and a shout out to Cure. And with that, we are wrapping up for the broadcast. Bearing in mind that the WardiTV Monday for this week is just now actually going live. That's going to be WardiTV Monday 76. Again, we are catching up with previous WardiTV Mondays that we did miss out on. Bearing in mind that we no longer cast that live, at least for the time being. The reasoning for this is just because of daylight savings. Daylight savings hit Europe, and now it starts very, very late here in Australia. Previously, it would start at like 9 p.m. Now it starts at like 11 p.m. So it's very, very late. And it ends like at 4 a.m. in the morning or something like that. Like, it's brutal. So time-wise, ever since daylight savings, like WardiTV Monday is at a really rough time, at least here in Australia, so we don't cast it live anymore, but we do cast it via replays. We get the replays, we cast it, and we catch up via replays instead. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Let's go. I know Wardy's just going live with his WardiTV Monday. Meanwhile, who else is live? I don't see many people. I see Cosset is live. Cosset. Star Knight is live as well. We'll give Wardy some love. We'll give him some love, give him some support. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. He's clearly lost his marbles. Cure's the one who has to find them. True. True. He was crazy. Also, very quickly, if you want to support us, another way you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, so you can help us out when it comes to Sparkling Tuna Cup, Sea Duckling Open, and Master Swan Open as well. You can see our weekly schedule just on my left here. We have a full week of Little League Cup. We're catching up with Little League Cup at Group Stage, at Group C, D, and the playoffs back to back. You can see that we have another WardiTV Monday broadcast on Wednesday. That's again another replay cast to catch up on those previous weeks that we missed out on. And of course, we have the podcast on Thursday and our weekly Open Cup on Sunday. Our version of WardiTV Monday is the Sparkling Tuna Cup. And again, you can support us and help us grow those tournaments via Patreon if you wish. You can help us out via Patreon. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. If you want to support us another way, if you maybe see something that you want to see here, and if you can't watch it live, then YouTube is the place to be. !Socials, !YouTube. We do upload to YouTube on a daily basis. There's plenty of content over on YouTube, so you can check it out there if you wish. Otherwise, we also stream there, right? We stream on YouTube, we stream here on Twitch, we stream on Kick, we stream on Facebook. So depending on your preferred platform, you can watch us live. Otherwise, VODs on YouTube on a daily basis. I'm firmly convinced that the only person capable of defeating herO is himself. Man is a mad genius in true Protoss fashion. True. I mean, you could definitely make an argument that, I mean, we said this at the beginning of the broadcast or the beginning of the series, how herO is very chaotic and he does like to experiment and he's very flexible with his builds. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? Like it and I feel like we kind of saw that in this series as well when it came to the first couple of games, where herO, he went for the proxy 2 gates, he went for the 2-gate opener as well, and the early game was just really rough for herO those first couple of games. But regardless, with that, thanks for watching, thanks so much for the support, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be live with Little League Cup. That's going to be in around 12 hours time. Little League Cup Group C is going to be here on the channel. Otherwise, see you then. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.